Be with you. Phil Elson in studio with my partner, Matt Jones. We're looking across the counter at the C Unit. Christian Johnston, our producer. It'll be an action-packed Thursday with 5 different guests joining us. And if you want to get with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, there will be plenty of time. Lots of texts if you can get to it at 877-377-6963. So just to lay it all out for halftime today, Dudley Dawson and Danny West in the first hour. Basketball, football, big topics there. A little baseball with Dudley as well. Hour number 2, Kevin Bohannon, a little baseball talk with the MLB draft starting on Sunday. Also look at how some of the transfers that are coming into Arkansas baseball for 2026 look like they'll fit in. We'll have Clay Henry, who was at yesterday's practice, at 12:30 to report back on that, and then Brett Dolan at 1:15 for Where in the World is Brett Dolan. Matt, I don't know if you've ever had 5 guests on before. We may do it next week on when Coach Pittman and Cam Ball, Taylor Green, Xavier Sori are part of media days, but it's an action-packed Thursday today.
It's not the best show. It's just a tribute. It's we'll tribute to Jalen Rose today. You know, one of the best to ever do it. We could do LaDainian Tomlinson, one of the best to ever do it, number 5. One of my personal favorites, Lamar Odom, another number 5.
Well, I'm always told, too, that quantity does not equal quality. So it's a matter of kind of conversations we get in with these people. But, hey, I mean, we're going to have all 3 of the big sports at Arkansas that we're talking about.
Not a chucker, huh? Not a volume shooter?
No, for me, when it came to basketball, if I was going to shoot in terms of volume, it might be 3 or 4 shots a game. Because, I mean, keep in mind, Matt, you're talking to somebody here who played power forward for the Jewish Community Center in Pittsburgh for about 4 years. And then I think I was more 5'8", and I think I'm maybe 5'9" now. So, hey, man, my game was around the rim. My game was in the paint. My game was on the floor, knocking other people down, falling down myself. It certainly wasn't the outside shot.
Power forward from Squirrel Hill, Pennsylvania, 5'8", Phil Elson.
That's right.
Let's go get it.
Can you imagine the sight if you were the guy that was jumping center at this basketball game, and yet I'm the guy who's standing right there giving you the low 5, and it's like, I'll jump, you stand, and you're still going to win this thing. Because that was me a few times. We didn't win a lot of games when I was jumping center. Or any, maybe.
That's fun. You have were you a hooper at all? Did you hoop in your youth?
I could shoot. My dribbling was very. I'm kind of was it Kyle Korver who can't really dribble. He's I'll just catch and shoot mostly. I mean, I could dribble a little bit, but going left is pretty tough for me. I can't really do that at all.
I love how we do comps. It's one of my favorite things. In the unit is C. Corver now when we're talking about basketball. I'm not, I love it. I know.
I'm not as good as him, obviously.
I want a comp for me, okay? All right, I'm also like him. Can't do anything with my left hand except pick my nose and catch a baseball, but that's it. Certainly not drive a basketball, and definitely not even a left-handed layup. Could rebound a little bit, but keep in mind, 5'8". Could take a charge, not shoot a 3. Who am I?
Udonis Haslem. Pro's pro, man. He get it in there. Do what you got to do.
Is he undersized?
Didn't do it. They never ran a single play for him. That's right.
Oh, good, because they never ran a single play for me except, hey, you, come here, sit down. That's the bench. I don't know if that was a
motivator out there. But Bobby Knight said, you want to know what the best motivator is? Hey, come over here and sit beside me for a little bit. We'll see how much you want.
A better comparison might be Mike Miller, actually.
There we go. He's Rookie of the Year.
He couldn't really dribble, and he looked like he was barely.
I love this.
He looked like
Clay Thompson had Clay Thompson on usage rate, usage rate. He had the least amount of dribbles per the amount of shots. So maybe you're Clay Thompson.
That's what I'm always told, is that you're not supposed to dribble. You're just supposed to pass it before it's an easy layup too. I like the idea of being Mike Miller too, because Miller's making more money as an agent than I think he did as a player. Heck, I think he who was the guy that just signed? I was a Supermax. I don't think it was SGA. Is he Gilgeous Alexander's agent? But he's just helped sign a Supermax. Keep in mind, he's also representing Boogie Fland, helping take him to Florida, which made a lot of sense.
Just signed something with the Magic.
I think that's who it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It was with the Magic, and that's what stood out to me. It was like, all right, Florida, but Duke too when it comes to Banchero. Anyway, I guess that's our basketball comp section for that. You want to comp yourself, Matt? Who are you?
Oh,
I know you don't like to talk about
I was
yourself
just
much.
glad they let me on the field and let me on the court. Just glad they let me play.
That's right. Chuck is right. He says you're a spectator with those skills. I was good at taking a charge. I was good at hustling. But I'll tell you what I was, Chuck. I was a broadcaster sitting on the bench. But they started me. But that's exactly right. I knew what I was doing then. I was going to be a radio guy, not an athlete.
I think Matt is Birdman. Do you remember Birdman?
Oh, Chris Anderson?
Yeah, that dude was beast.
He was a
beast.
bird, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Man, just to have all those tattoos, it'd be like, how can you be in like 3 seconds and then
That's the kind of thing that'll shut you up pretty quickly, won't it? Yeah, quantity, not quality. But we'll make sure. Is that a chicken or is that a Chanticleer?
He would score and then he would do the paka.
Did you do that after?
Wasn't that Terrell Owens thing when he would score? He was the Eagle, right?
Yeah.
It was like you look like the Icky Shuffle. I mean, Icky's the one who started that dance. It was called something different.
One of the best interviews was one of my favorites, Randall Cunningham, QB Eagles. Used to love watching him play, and they were like, he took off from like the 5-yard line on a run, and they're like, "Did you think you could fly?" And he goes, "I am an Eagle, baby."
Absolutely. Is that where Fly Eagles Fly started from? Yeah, they play that sound of the Eagles games too. I hear it anytime we go to South Carolina baseball. Yeah, you're going to be a chicken. I don't know if you need to do that. Maybe one time an hour for that sound, because you actually do it really well. Like you've heard a chicken or two.
Well, it's on Pitch Perfect where it's Bumper when he's like Baka, talking about Becca. He's like Baka.
Well, judging by what everybody's writing about and what everybody's saying, and the highlights you might have seen on your socials from yesterday's basketball practice, and the way that Cal's talking about him, and even some of the things that the players are saying, it feels like the sky's the limit. Next week you start getting fed that so-called hopium from coaches. And it's not just Sam Pittman that'll be feeding that stuff. It's every coach that's up there. They're not going to say one negative thing about their teams. It'll all be, and it's going to be a lot of projection too when you think of how many teams are made up through the transfer portal, which is just about everybody. Nobody really knows how it's all going to work out. The football hopium starts next week. The basketball hopium has started now. Like the hype train is on the rails, Matt, to put it mildly. Because if you're having a practice yesterday, and I know Cal said, answering a question from Clay Henry, why are we here today? And he's talking about, well, I'm going on the road and we're going to have a practice. I said, maybe we're going to get the media to come and all of that. But you're not going to have a practice in July that you open up for everybody and do a full hour of practicing and then a whole 90-second, or about 45 minutes to 50-minute media session, and then talk about the schedule that's ahead of you and everything if you don't expect that this team is one of the last standing, not in March, but in April. The hype train's there.
He was also surprised that there were 25 media members there.
Well, last year we didn't have any of this, right? When would they have their first practice last year? Did we even have a team by this time last year?
That's one of the things he's talking about, is that if you were welcomed into a practice session or anything last year at this time, they were going. There might have been 4 or 5 players that were going to be out there in the court. You might have been practicing against graduate assistants, but no, these guys are going up against each other right now. And I mean, hey, you hear a little bit about an injury of Kareem Retail, a back injury, and hopefully comes back soon. You get an injury word about Ismail Cissa, the wide receiver transferring in. I believe he's the one that's from Stanford, a hand injury that occurred at the weight room. So, I mean, these things obviously can happen, but that was the story of the team last year at this point. We just didn't know it. And then we figure things out as the season goes on. And it looked like a team that was just kind of learning each other on the fly. Well, they're learning each other right now. And that's another reason why the hype train's going to be on the rails for a good long while now. And I don't know if they have another media session for basketball for a while. And it's a good thing to do it now. That's also why you do it now. Because starting next week, it's pretty much straight football up until about October when official practice begins. And then you'll know who you're playing in your exhibition and getting things into November.
It's football up until maybe November 1st. We'll see. Maybe we can make, if we're still talking about football in November, that'd be amazing.
I hope we are.
I hope we are too.
That means we've had a good October and a November to remember, and then a bowl game too. And maybe a different bowl game than last year, or a different level of bowl game than last year. That'd be nice. All right, we're going to stick to our times because we got lots of people to get to here on a halftime Thursday. Dudley Dawson from Hogville joins us in just a moment, so stay with us.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You think Joe Desatore's cleaning his gutters? Of course not. You don't need to be up there, man.
A little more revered, Joe Test, than I would say Ty Richardson is. And I'm also younger and a little more spry, so and I don't have the money that those guys do. Can't afford that.
The hair or the looks or the
Or the
voice.
tan or the skill. I mean, you keep going.
Weekdays from 9 to 11, only on ESPN 95.3.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a store card. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
If it rumbles, roars, or needs a little more power, take it to Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports in Clarksville. From muffler and catalytic converter repair to full custom exhaust systems, they've got you covered. Need welding or mobile welding along with equipment repair? They do that too. Custom fabrication done right. Located at 215 East Taylor Road. For performance, precision, and power, it's Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports. Call today at 479-214-2729 or stop by today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
I'm with my I wear my sunglasses at night so I can keep track of the visions in my eyes.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
On our Lewis Automotive Hotline on a Thursday morning is Dudley Dawson from Hogville. And Dudley, it's good to reconnect after last week. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing really good, man. Before we get anything with Arkansas, I saw yesterday's Cardinals game, lost to Washington, and I know it's a Wednesday and maybe there's other things going on, but where are all the fans? Because I think the Rockies right now are outdrawing St. Louis, which to me doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think certainly the fans have shown their disdain for John Mozeliak, the general manager, who will be out after this year, but still has a hand in what's going on now. And I think they're disappointed in a lot of things they've done. And even though we were playing above our heads there for a while, I think that they're coming back down to earth. And the attendance is just people's. What's the word? They don't care much anymore.
That's wild to think about. Dudley, there's something up with the connection. We'll call you right back, okay? Because there were a bunch of blips there, but it's kind of wild to think about. I think you even noticed it too, Matt. The Rockies games that you went to last week, Colorado right now, historically bad first half of the season. They're on pace to set the record for major league losses. The Rockies. And this is by ticket sales, so maybe that's a little misleading, but at least by ticket sales, the Rockies are outdrawing the Cardinals. The Rockies actually are outdrawing a lot of teams they're having good years. They're outdrawing Detroit, for crying out loud. That's the best team in baseball.
Rockies are actually winning some games over the last month and a half. Like they started off so bad, but if you look at the last 30, how they're trending, not that they're going to do anything, but they're winning some games. They're competitive.
Anyway, but yeah, but it also goes to show. When you talk about the idea of the best fans in anything, that has to be relative to the success of the team. That's why I push back a little bit about, LSU fans are the best fans in college baseball. Well, let's talk after 5 years and you don't make Omaha. Let's see how much you're filling up the box. It's the same with the Yankees. Heck, it's the same with Alabama football and Georgia football. Show me a dip and then show me your attendance numbers and go from there. But what that says, Dudley, is the fans just expect they'll go see a winner. They will go see a winner. I guess Rockies fans don't care much.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the Rockies have had some really good teams coming in there, and I've watched a lot of their games, and you see a lot of the opposing team's fans there, too.
Yeah, that's as well. Well, all right, so now there's all this Arkansas stuff to talk about because the Major League Draft is this weekend, and so we're going to see the guys that are not coming back. I don't know if everybody that's draft eligible is going to get drafted. I'm even talking about guys that were starters, and see how that fits in with the transfer class that we have coming in here, and also some of the incoming freshmen. Football media days next week. You had this practice yesterday with Cal's group, so that's a heck of a lot going on, really, for what's just supposed to be a quiet time of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, I think, in Atlanta for everybody next week. I've even heard that Beyonce has 2 concerts down there next week, and Bill Goldberg is coming back to the WWE. They're having a thing down there, so that sounds like a fun week in Atlanta.
Sure does. All right, basketball. From what you see on video and the things that Cal's talking about, and even the things that TB is talking about, in the Trevin Brazile that we saw at the end of the season, that was a main reason why you got to the Sweet 16. It sounds like that's the Brazile that you got right now, with even a little extra muscle put on him over the last 3 months. Hopefully all he's able to do is stay healthy and stay at this level, because a healthy Trevin Brazile that is into being a major part of this team, and I think at times last year you wondered about that, that's a total game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's truly a contract year for him. He has the opportunity to really work himself back up the draft. When a couple of years ago when he played so well in the 1 year and was soaring up there, they were talking about him being maybe a late first round pick. He has that opportunity to do that. I do think this. I don't know how good this team is going to be, if they're going to get to the Elite Eight, Final Four, all that. We'll see. But I do know that the roster construction this year is much better than it was, in that first year when, they got some really good players, but it was not, totally the way you wanted to do it. You have guards, you have wings, you have inside guys, and you have enough at all three of these spots. Even though, he's got his walk-ons that he calls them, there at the end of the bench for practice and all that, I really do like this roster construction and think that that's going to be of great benefit to Coach Cal and his staff.
Dudley, are you worried? I mean, I look at the UConn team that won the national title. Stephen Castle was the best athlete on that team. He was a freshman. You look at the Duke team that made a run last year. You have a generational talent that goes number 1 overall, and then I absolutely like that guy the Suns got at 10. I think he's from Senegal. But how much do you, but then you look again and you look at the kid from Georgia who's a freshman that's a prodigy. You look at the kid from Texas who was a top 10 pick. Those teams didn't make it very. They didn't really do anything in the. Are you worried that we're relying too much on freshmen this year?
There's some thought of that, I think, because, while we've seen these guys play in high school and they've been fantastic in high school, at the same time, it's a grind, much more of a grind in college than it is in high school, and, much more pressure and all that. I think Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas are going to be fantastic freshmen, but, I do worry about that a little bit, but, man, those guys are talented.
So, I don't mean to compare this incoming freshman class to others, but we've seen some really good classes come in recently. Devo, Moses, Jalen, just a recent one. Last year was a really good incoming class
Anthony
as well.
Black's class.
Anthony Black's class. Just from what you're hearing about, and I haven't watched enough. I'm only seeing highlight reels. I haven't been able to watch them play games. What you're hearing about and people that know what they're watching. This also feels like a generational class that may surpass those ones.
You were breaking up there on me a little bit, but I think that you were talking about the freshmen, and obviously they had a good freshman class last year. One of the best things about this year's team is a couple of those freshmen are going to be sophomores now and have the opportunity to also be drafted big time, and I think will be even better in with the consistency that they'll have this year. It'll be like it was at the end of the year. I do think that the talent is certainly there. We thought that was the case last year when they started out so slow in conference play. Maybe they won't do that this year. Maybe they'll stay a little bit more healthy. I do like the mix, and you can tell when Coach Cal is just relaxed and doing the things that he's doing that we see with his personality, that he feels pretty good about this roster as well.
You noticed, so you used the word that I was thinking of when I was watching the presser, relaxed. He did not look relaxed last year, and it was like, well, he doesn't look like he really knows he's the Arkansas coach, just because. And he went through the whole reasoning why. He'd never been on campus. There was no staff, there was no schedule, there was no team, there was no reason to be comfortable. He looks really comfortable as the Razorback coach right now, but how much of that has to do with just being for 1 year, and how much of that has to do with what he thinks he knows he's got on the roster?
I think I think the latter is the big part. I think obviously being on campus and being the Arkansas coach and kind of leaning into that role a little bit more, and not having to focus so much on this rivalry or rigmarole with Kentucky fans and Arkansas fans. I think that's all relaxing, but I do think the talent and what he thinks he's picked up have made him. That's probably the biggest part of it. Let's go 60-40 on that.
Okay, sounds about right. Dudley, let's leave it there. Appreciate your time on these Thursdays. It's good to get back with you. And next week, we'll have the guys up there in Atlanta for Media Days 1 week from today, but we'll still be able to get with you, okay?
Sounds good.
Dudley Dawson, you can read him at Hogville. He's with us every Thursday on Halftime. Thanks to the Fence Man. If you're looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong, the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. They've served the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, building custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need an automatic gate? The Fence Man does it. If you need financing, 18-month financing is available at the Fence Man. Get a free quote at thefencemanar.com. Call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. We'll break, and it's Danny West from hogsports.com in just a moment on Halftime.
I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
This is Halftime.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Sarah. She loves her motorcycle.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Choose your escape. Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Take a luxurious dip with the $5 Classic box. Indulge in a lavish meal with the $7 Supreme box. Or explore new worlds with the $9 Discovery box. Now featuring the crispy chicken burrito for a truly unmissable experience.
Is that Tony Hawk?
Get Lux for less, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
East Coast summers living on the run. Now the beachfront nights, 5,000 thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seaside.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. And with baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Wrapped around each other, trying so hard to stay warm. That first cold winter together, not each other's arms. She knows all these, falling in love so desperately. Honey, I was your hero, and you were my leading lady. We had it all, just like Bobby in the car, starring in our own lately show, sailing away to Key Largo. Here's looking at you again.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We put an APB out on Danny West. He's we'll work on getting Danny here on halftime because we got some recruiting stuff to get to. 877-377-6963. I'm actually going to text this number to him. 877-377-6963. It's a little easier to text it when you're actually saying the number too. Isn't it funny how that works out? Well, he'll get with us in just a moment here because I'm interested in seeing if he thinks there are any incoming freshmen that will be able to help immediately and what this 2026 class may look like.
So used to, Phil, it was 5, 6, 7. That was kind of your maximum number of freshmen that were going to come in to help. And if you had more than that, you were probably going to struggle. What do you think the number is now that it's a transfer portal window and that it's not so big on having 25? That's when you were signing 25, 24 a class. There's 5 or 6 freshmen, but we don't do that anymore. We got a lot of portal guys. And what do you think, 2 to 3? Is that more of a number that we should expect as far as freshmen to really stand out?
I think that sounds about right. 23 on the incoming class this year. 2026, they've got 26 hard commits. You remember they did away with the 25 limit, but that's for transfers and incoming freshmen. And we got Danny with us here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Danny West, recruiting expert at hogsports.com. Danny, thanks for calling in. How you doing?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Phil? Hey, Matt.
Danny.
Just a week before media days gets going. Anybody on this incoming class that you think can help early or at some point this year, somebody to look for?
Yeah, the 25 class that signed in December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I'll start at the top, Phil. I'll tell you one kid that, I say kid, they're all grown now, but Tavion Wallace, obviously, that's the easy pick, right? He was the number one, the highest-rated signee in that class, a linebacker. We had him at 6'1", 215 when he signed in January. He enrolled early. You guys remember he went through spring ball. And, man, I saw him over the summer a couple of times in June, once out on the town and then once on campus there. And, man, he's got to be the most impressive turnaround from, early enrollee in January to where he's at right now. I bet he's put on 15 to 20 and just he looks the part. Now, I don't know that they're necessarily going to need him. They've got Steven Dix. They've got Story coming back. Obviously, they've added a couple of more experienced guys. You've got Bradley Shaw, as a sophomore now. So I don't know necessarily that they're just going to throw him in there, but, man, he sure looks the part. So I would start with him. I think there's probably a D lineman, maybe or two. Caleb Bell kind of sticks out. Keandre Johnson, maybe, if he's healthy, maybe he can help him on the edge. Trent Sellers is a guy on the edge, 6'6", 250-ish, that I think maybe, he comes in late and maybe he surprises people, but you got to find the pass rush, guys. I mean, it's kind of, we're sitting here July 10th now. We're still talking about it. There's still questions, in terms of the defensive line, both on the interior, but especially the pass rush. You just have to wonder where that's going to come from. So my answer would be hopefully some of these young guys might surprise you and be able to help out too.
Yeah, I think we're going to really miss Landon Jackson as far as trying to replace him, and it's probably going to have to be by committee, no question about that. Danny, what about we kind of got into the weeds a little bit yesterday about tight end play and kind of a lack of tight end play last year. Not a lack of talent, it's just for some reason they weren't cohesive. They weren't simpatico. Who do you think do we have a tight end, one or two guys you think can step up and kind of be that tight end this year?
That's a great question. It's another position I've kind of been, I wouldn't say worried about, but just curious about. Everybody's curious at this point because there's so much turnover nowadays for everybody. But the tight end position, man, you think about Arkansas and tight ends, they're one of I want to say 3 programs that have multiple Mackey winners, with DJ and Hunter, obviously. But, man, you think of the last, 6-7 years, it just seems like the consistency of that position has fallen off. And a lot of it goes into recruiting. At one point they were bringing in 4-star guys left and right. Matter of fact, in one class alone, they had 3 4-star tight ends. I want to say that was 2015, Will Gregg, Cheyenne O'Grady, CJ O'Grady, and I want to say Austin Cantrell. But anyway, you look at the last 6, 7, 8 years, and it's just kind of fallen off a little bit. There's the consistency hasn't been there. They had Luke Has, and he had his moments, and I think they're going to miss him more than people might, want to admit. But he was probably the closest big-time playmaker and really never fully tapped into that. So it's been a while. To answer your question, Matt, I think Rohan Jones coming in as a senior transfer, he came in from Montana State, kind of relatively unknown, but a lot of people got on him late after seeing his film. Reminds you of a lot of Luke, in my opinion. Similar build, maybe more athletic than Luke was, and can really run in space after the catch. So I think they've got some guys, but Jones would probably be the guy I look at right now and say he's probably got the best chance to be the guy.
We're talking a lot about the idea of continuity, hopefully on the offensive side, helping a lot with Talon and Coach Petrino, keeping in mind that you've lost almost all of your receiving yards and almost all your receiving touchdowns too. So that continuity thing, I think, works both ways. But there's also over 50 new players. I mean, there's close to 60 new players, I think, on this team, 56, 55, somewhere around there, and incoming freshmen and transfers. So, I mean, is this 2 years in a row where Arkansas has had some of the most amount of newcomers in the entire country? Because I think they may have, if not the most, close to the most in the SEC.
It's got to be. And some of that, people celebrate, it seems like. Some of the positions, we talk about the offensive line, and guys, I think Eric Mateos did a fine job last year. The offensive line, in terms of numbers, is still down. People don't talk about it, but typically you see an SEC team somewhere around the 17, 18 mark for scholarship offensive linemen all the time. Throughout the year, any point of the year, that's what they're going to have. Eric's been dealing with 13, 14. I'm not making excuses for him. He's tried to slowly rebuild this thing, and a lot happened with this 2025 transfer class and freshman class that allows him to feel good about that. But it's going to be a process, and with his numbers being down, of course, you don't have as many bodies to throw in there and try to figure it out. So that's another big question mark. The whole team's full of question because of what you talked about there, almost 60 new guys. But, yeah, it's the new trend. I would say Arkansas's got to be, I would have to study that, Phil, but just thinking about other teams around the SEC that I follow and try to track in recruiting, I don't see anybody even – I can't think of anybody that's even close. Maybe I'm wrong. Mississippi's been obviously really active in the portal, but, I think they're a lot of times more selective, too. They just go and pick and choose. So Arkansas sometimes is out of necessity, as we've seen. We've seen some departures that were really big.
I'm a fan of speed, and if you're in the SEC and you don't have speed, you're not going to win a lot of games. How are our D-backs this year? Safeties, cornerbacks. Do we have some speed on the outsides that can kind of prevent the big play and then also kind of make up when we make mistakes? Do you like our set of D-backs this year?
Man, I think it's sneaky good, but again, they had a couple of guys that they feel good about. Kanai Walker, Jordan Young, Trey Biddy would probably be the better guy to ask because he's out there every day in the spring watching these guys. But Julian Neal was one of their biggest gets at corner. In terms of just straight-up speed, Matt, I don't know if they've got anybody that's catching you, but, I mean.
Or Jordan Anthony.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, I don't know that they've got any, just game breakers like that, but I like the experience that they brought in. I think they've got physicality in the back end. I think they're a really physical group, but a lot of that, again, is yet to be seen. I would feel good about it, probably better about it than a lot of people would. I think it's sneaky good, but again, you never know until you know. But Jordan Young, Kanai Walker, and Julian Neal were probably three of the gets that I was most excited about personally, just because I think they needed them at corner. Then you think about safety. I mean, they've got experience back there. Shakira Smalls comes in, but Larry Worth, Caleb Wooden, they kind of held those spots down in the spring, and I think they're going to be tough to beat out. But in terms of all SEC talent, I just don't know that they've got a whole bunch of that back there right now. I think they've got some good quality, experienced guys, but nobody that's just going to be a household name, I wouldn't say.
Danny, I'm looking at on 2026, I believe it is here, and I was counting only 4 Arkansans that are committed to Arkansas. That's 4 players out of a class right now that's 26. And you saw this 4-star defensive back Braxton Lindsey from Rogers. He chooses BYU over Arkansas and a number of other things. And that's been a topic about. I don't know if you say misses in recruiting or not recruiting or whatever it is, but what is your view on this coaching staff and how they recruit the state of Arkansas?
Sure. Yeah, actually, a couple of weeks ago I had a story on this. Kind of my story of the summer is the way I would put it. But, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, Phil, but you're right. There's some cases, it's a case-by-case deal. There are some cases right now where Arkansas is saying, okay, your asking price is way more than we're willing to pay, and I think that's a long conversation in itself. But I do think there's a big fish, small pond mentality that exists in Arkansas. When a lot of these kids, they grow up, they see the 4 stars and the 5 stars by their name, and you're in little old Arkansas, you might be one of 3, 4, 5 guys that have that, and it blows up, and everybody's pushing them to Fayetteville, and they're told all their life, you got to go here. And then nowadays you throw in this new wrench of the money can come from anywhere. And if Arkansas is sitting in Fayetteville not willing to pay some of these, in my opinion, crazy asking prices, not all of them, but a lot of them are way more than I would pay too, I think you've got to make a choice at some point. You've got X amount of money to spend. Do you want to spend it on high school players from within inside the state that over the last 10, 15 years really haven't panned out a whole heck of a lot? There's been a few guys, outliers here and there. Or do you want to take that money and try to put the majority of it to guys who can help you right now, right? And it's very much a right now situation at Arkansas, so I think they've made the right choice there. Again, some of these guys are just getting beat. There's LSU will come in, Oklahoma will come in. They've got a bigger NIL package, more tradition, whatever the case may be. Some of that's happening still, but a lot of this is just Arkansas saying, hey, I think we can spend the same amount of money and get a better or just as good player outside the state, or wait until the portal and get somebody who's definitely better and more capable of helping right now. But I think they're willing to kind of deal with the perception that comes with that. If you go chasing perception and feel-good stories and everybody's got to play at Arkansas, man, that can put you in a hole, as we've seen. So personally, I don't get involved with my own opinions too much in it, but what I would do is exactly what they're doing, Phil. I wouldn't pay some of these prices I've been hearing. When you compare some of the in-state players, and I'm not going to disrespect their names or anything like that, but when I could compare some of their film to somebody else from out of state and they're costing twice as much as that other kid, come on now. It's got to chill out a little bit. And I think fans have got to understand that. In some of these cases, it's not always, Pittman's just getting beat left and right. Sometimes it's a smart money decision.
Danny, just a couple minutes, if you can, and that goes on top of what we just spoke about. The situation with the Texas Tech offensive line with the freshman coming in, $5.1 million over 3 years or whatever it is. My understanding about this is that some of that is revenue share, and some of that is also Texas Tech basically telling this NIL clearinghouse, go ahead and tell us that we're not going to pay this kid this money. We're daring you. There are schools out there that are daring the Deloitte & Touche clearinghouse. Is Arkansas one of those schools?
I wouldn't think so. And the only reason I would say that is because it seems to me they've been kind of careful. In the first 3 or 4 years here, we saw them, in my opinion, Phil, I think they were a little bit slow out of the gates. A lot of SEC teams were kind of welcoming this thing with open arms. We remember a time when, of course, Arkansas was trying to get Congress involved and trying to still figure out the rules after the game has already started, so to speak. So just in terms of remembering that and not always seeing Arkansas be the most aggressive with new changes like this, it would surprise me if they are.
Danny, it's always great talking with you here on Halftime. Appreciate you hopping on with us, and hey, maybe as we get closer to the football season, we can find some more time. Okay?
Man, I would really enjoy it. I always appreciate you guys, and I thank you for having me on.
Danny West from hogsports.com. You can check it out of the 24/7 Sports Network. We appreciate his time here on Halftime. Open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline as we close out hour number 1, 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
You see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
This is Halftime.
Bow hunters, it's time to get ready for bow season, and Jelco Outdoors has the best selection of Matthews, Elite, Hoyt, and Bowtech compound bows for you. Huge selection of arrows, back targets, sights, and releases to help you get dialed in. Need to replace strings and cables? We are ready with gas bow strings in stock with quick turnaround to get you ready. Jelco Outdoors, your premier archery shop in the River Valley, your store for work and the great outdoors. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Bush. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new Ultra Matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new Matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
Destiny is a matter of choice, and dinner is a matter of how much Taco Bell you want. Good thing you can choose from the $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes to match what you're craving. What does your destiny hold? The classics for $5, the faves for $7, or a feast for $9 featuring the new crispy chicken burrito. Oh, why is Destiny holding them all? Someone help her. Choose your Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
This generation rules the nation with version. Music is the food of love. Songs to really make you rub and scrub.
The dutchie on the left hand side. The dutchie on the left hand side. It make me jump. It a go down. Music make jump. It is a cool and lonely, breezy afternoon. Feel when you got no food. You could feel it 'cause it was the month of June. Feel when you got no food. So I left my gate and went out for a walk. Feel when you got no food. As I passed the dreadlocks camp, I heard them say.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Boy, we got some good birthdays today on halftime. You got Hal McRae. Hal McRae, you'll see this video sometimes, had the greatest non-slide taking out an infielder at second base of all time.
Better than Albert Bell?
Well, Albert Bell did it halfway to second base. McRae did it at second base.
Albert Bell looked like he was trying out for, what's that, Any Given Sunday football movie? Yeah.
He could have played whatever it is he wanted to play. He could have scared anybody on a baseball field just with his eyes. The Hawk, Andre Dawson, 71 years old today. I bet you the dude could still swing a stick a little bit. His 1989 Cubs season's one of the great seasons for a really bad team of all time. MVP for a team that finished. I think they were dead last that year in the National League East.
Your boy, Vinny Chase, C-Unit. Have you seen any of the Entourage series? But Adrian Grenier, who played Vinny Chase, turned a 49 today.
I remember he's also good at playing a boyfriend of
Anne Hathaway in The Devil Wears. Yeah,
that's the same guy.
I somebody, since I know you're C movie buff, they're coming out with a Devil Wears Prada 2. Just in case you couldn't get enough. And if you remember Tom Brady's ex-wife, I think their bodyguard's new wife or what? No, it's a kung fu instructor. Her new husband. She was in. If you remember,
Bridget Monahan.
No. Giselle.
Giselle
she was in the first Devil Wears. Yeah,
sure. Just walking the catwalk, I think.
She was part of the crew in there when it was her and the other girl and Anne Hathaway right there. Not that it's like
Hall of Fame running back Roger Craig is 65 years old today. Is Craig a little bit of a forgotten part of that Niners
He's
dynasty?
Underrated.
Yeah.
He's underrated. He would be better in today's game because he could catch the ball. He could do a little bit of everything. And Phyllis, the girl from Office, you seen The Office? See Office?
I've watched some of it.
Phyllis.
Phyllis has some of the great lines.
74 today.
Man, that there is some hilarious moments.
And then the Chicken of the Sea,
Jessica Simpson.
And that we're playing all 80s one hit wonders for the show today.
There was a hit for her or something, but it wasn't 80s.
Well, she was born in the 80s, so we'll give her that.
A couple others that are anybody real. Urban Meyer turns 61 today. He's only 61 and he's been retired for however long now. It's like, Saban's got more than 10 years on him.
Yeah, he does seem older than 61.
And then Marty Cordova is 56 years old today. Cordova won an American League MVP with the Twins and has one of the all-time great reasons to go on the disabled list. Marty Cordova fell asleep in a tanning bed, and he had to go on the disabled list because of a sunburn.
C. Steeler, Antonio Brown. He turned 37 today, one of Pittsburgh's finest.
Man, he went off the map.
He won a Super Bowl with Tampa. So yeah.
Come back, Antonio.
877-377-6963. We get into the second hour. That's our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Couple of guests in hour number 2. Kevin Bohannon for Razorback Baseball with the draft and the incoming transfer class. And Clay Henry, Hall of Famer, he usually joins us Tuesdays, Wednesdays, with us on a Thursday to talk yesterday's basketball practice. It's a lot going on. Stay with us.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, it's Todd Richardson. We're still here at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. If you heard it this morning, or maybe you're hearing it for the first time, can you believe we made it 2 decades? Annual football trip of lifetime still going on with Hardee's. And since it's the 20th year, we had to do it right. Vegas, baby. Yes, Las Vegas, Nevada is the home of the football trip of the lifetime this year with the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. We're giving away a trip to that game. You want to take advantage of that? Come on by and see me until 1:30 today. Eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less, and you will qualify for that football trip of a lifetime. Plus, Monster Burgers are just $3.50 if you want to stop by and just enjoy a Monster Burger on this beautiful Thursday. Come on by and see us, Hardee's, Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally owned and operated so you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower. Thunderstorm or high temperatures into the low 90s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight, and then Thursday, sunshine, low 90s. Friday, we're back to sunny skies and a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by ColorWorks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at ColorWorks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 51 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
That ain't but one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Rolling along on a Thursday afternoon now, 12:01 on halftime. This is ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson. Matt Jones, my partner. Kristen Johnson, the C-Movie Unit Burger. Maverick is in the producer's chair. And you can get with us right now. We'll have some guests coming up, 12:15, 12:30. Kevin Bohannon first up. Do a little baseball talk. You got the Major League Draft starting on Sunday. A whole incoming class of transfers, I think, to talk about. Maybe a couple of the freshmen, too. And Clay Henry joining us half past. He was at the basketball practice at Arkansas yesterday. So now's the time you want to get in. Before we take our first phone call here the second hour, you see what's going on with Scott Frost at Big 12 Media Days this last week. A favored son of Nebraska who might not be a favored son any longer. And not because of being fired, but because of saying the other day when he was asked about anything he learned while from the experience of coaching Nebraska, the only thing he said was to not take the wrong job. And then went a little bit farther about it, talked about working for good people. And basically, I think he's pointing directly at Trev Alberts, the former athletic director that is now the AD at A&M. So if you're looking at Nebraska, that's two of their most favorite Nebraska football players of all time. I don't remember if Alberts won a national championship, but he might have. Frost certainly did. And they're both gone. And I don't think they're viewed in very positive ways by Nebraska fans. And that's just kind of tough for a fan base like that. I mean, Matt, that would kind of be like, I don't know, the family's like turning on you or something.
Well, I mean, there's something about Nebraska used to be a blue chip, blue blood football, and it's not anymore. And so I think there is a little nostalgia a little bit there too. And they don't have the same resources, or they're not doing it the same way. And you don't understand. Because Notre Dame's kind of bounced back, if you think about it. Maybe they got to get the right young and energetic coach. Maybe you got to have the most amount of money to be able to spend there. But growing up when I was, 6th grade, 7th grade, Nebraska always had good teams, man. They were tough. They were physical. They had athletes. They usually had one of the best running backs.
They also went up in the Big 12 for years against Texas and Oklahoma. Those programs were just as big then as Alabama, as Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State are now, in the Big Ten. So
they had to have good coaches back then and good administration because
they always had the best offensive linemen. You just look down; they just had studs everywhere.
Who in their right mind would want to go to Nebraska unless it was just
to win 10 games?
Yeah, a great place to play.
To play for Tom Osborne, really, to do that. Even you look down the history in Nebraska. Even Bill Callahan, Bo Pelini had 3 10-win seasons. Mike Riley had a 9-win season. Scott Frost is the only coach at Nebraska.
And they fell off a cliff. There was something there was a disconnect there, I think, from the beginning somehow.
It's just kind of crazy to think about. Not just a favored son, but a national championship winning quarterback. Go ahead and show your face in in Lincoln anytime soon. It's getting ugly over there. And it's not about to stop anytime soon. He's UCF.
Oh, okay.
He said he should have never left UCF, but then again, back then UCF was a team in the American Conference, and he's looking for a bigger payday. So and now they're in the Big 12. It's a different situation. And I'm not sure if he's going to have UCF at the same level he had it in the American. Gus had a little trouble with it, keeping it there in the Big 12. So we'll see if it's a matter of the wrong job or maybe the wrong conference, or I don't know, maybe he was just the wrong coach.
Notre Dame, Penn State. This question for both you guys. Both programs that won their last national championship was in the 80s, right? Notre Dame, Penn State.
Yeah.
Which one of these do you believe in this year going forward? Do you believe in both of them? Which one? I think Bill King yesterday was really high on Notre Dame, talking about this is the best team ever. Penn State has probably a top 3 quarterback coming back. Just got Ohio State's defensive coordinator, has both their running backs coming back the way they like to play. If I gave you one of those two teams, who are you taking, Penn State or Notre Dame this year?
I think I'm gonna take Notre Dame, and that goes against the idea for me that I think Michigan takes a step back. Well, they already did last year a little bit. I think Ohio State might take a bit of a step back. And all these returners for Penn State and Drew Aller may be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I still kind of like the defense on Notre Dame. So I might go with the Fighting Irish.
Well, and you look, and this is why I brought Pete Carroll up yesterday. So Notre Dame has 5 players that have their pops had played in the NFL. They just got a commitment from Larry Fitzgerald. That's kind of what USC was doing. They were getting all the best players, all the best talent. Will Ferrell was on the sideline. Snoop Dogg was, young, energetic, relating to kids. I think Notre Dame's would be tough.
I remember as a college football fan growing up in the 80s and then into the early 90s, Notre Dame was cool, really cool. And that was with Lou Holtz as the head coach. I think they're back to being cool.
Yeah, when they start winning, that's probably as good as it gets is to be a Notre Dame fan, because they've had all the star power and they've had good players. They've had they got history.
Joe Montana. They've
got everything.
Win one for the Gipper. Is that not Notre Dame?
That is Notre Dame. It's straight out from a movie, I believe. If that really was said, it might have been.
I think they both make the playoffs this year. I mean, they're both good enough. Now, if I'm saying,
I would think you're right. I would say Notre Dame, Penn State. If you were to say who are some locks right now, I think Notre Dame and Penn State would be locks.
I mean, we go on odds. If you're going by the money line, negative odds is something that's basically not guaranteed to happen, but it's going to happen. It's negative odds that Penn State and Notre Dame make they're both going to get in. I think most people's money would be on either one of those two and both of them getting in. Charlie's going to get in here with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline at 877-377-6963. Charlie, good afternoon. What's up?
I'm not just going to get in, Phil. I'm going to dive right in here with you guys. We're going, head first, all the way in. Look, I 100% agree. Those two teams right there, if I had to look at it right now, no doubt in my mind that they're probably one of the final 12 teams. And not only that, I'm a fan of both of their coaches. I like Freeman and I like Franklin. Freeman seems like a guy that he motivates well. I don't know what you think about him, Matt. He's young, energetic. I like him. Now, they got him from Oregon, right, Phil? Didn't he come from Oregon, Freeman? I can't remember.
He worked for Kelly at Cincinnati. I remember.
Okay.
I don't know if it was Oregon where he came from. I can't remember exactly.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm a huge fan of both of those guys. Obviously Franklin, when he was at Vandy, what he did, he just hasn't got over the hump and won a championship yet. But yeah, both those teams, man, they're going to be really good. If they stay healthy. The thing is, we were talking about yesterday. You guys were talking about the idea of Arkansas needing that, that number one receiver type thing. My question to you guys, though, obviously last year with Armstrong being our number one guy, we don't want Taylor to fall into this idea, though, and this is what makes this offense hard to learn. I think Clay made a great point yesterday. Everybody's worried about Taylor taking this big step. And look, I understand that. I get that. But for him to take a big step, it's going to take everybody taking a step. And it's going to take, as you guys know, the offensive line being a whole lot better and, helping them out a little bit. I mean, the idea that there were so many, yes, Phil, I know he's an amazing athlete. And when he rolls out and he rolls to either side and makes those incredible plays, it's fun to watch, but you don't want this team, you don't want to have to rely on that. And I remember too many times last year where the offense had to rely on stuff like that. And you ain't gonna get away with that in this league. You're just not. And number one, he's more likely to get hurt. And number two, it's just not a good recipe to have success on offense. And I think the big thing, we were talking about the whole number one thing. Yeah, we don't know who the guy's going to be yet. The one thing I don't want him to do, though, is kind of like last year, it felt like at times, and I'm not knocking him for this. I get it. He trusted Armstrong, and it just is what it is, especially in man-to-man. Matt, you would agree. In man-to-man coverage, that's where he was going.
That's where I'm going.
Year, and I agree with you. But this year, I hope he gets into that mindset of, okay, let's spread this thing around a little bit. I understand you want your number one guy, but if you guys remember Bobby's offenses, Matt, I'm sure you do, back in the day a little bit. I mean, go back and look at the stats. I mean, there were multiple guys that were it was based on the coverage where he went to.
But you also,
where he
Charlie,
a lot
put the
more
ball.
crossers too, and mesh routes. It seemed like that there
Yeah.
wasn't as much as that last.
there was more continuity with the offense then as well. And that's such an important word
True.
for this if you're going to learn this. And the only player right now that truly has real continuity on this offense is Taylon Green. Even Carmona's moving
And
over.
Carmona. Yeah.
Carmona's moving from a different position. So, I mean, he's got continuity, but he's going to be doing that at a different position. So I think an aspect of Taylon that doesn't have anything to do with his footwork and his arm slot or who he's choosing to throw the ball to is he's got to make sure that these guys know the offense as well as he's going to know it. Because if they don't know it, if they're not in the right place at the right time, who he chooses to throw to isn't really going to matter as much. And so I think that's got to be a major difference between when Petrino's offense really clicked at Arkansas, because you had guys that had practiced together all the year before, played all year, the same year that year, the year before. I mean, there was real continuity, and you do not have that except at the quarterback position. So, I mean, that's something huge to look at for this year. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive text line. You got thoughts on that? Hey, if you're looking for a side-by-side or motorcycle, an ATV or zero-turn mower, look no farther than a local Wood Power Sports store. They've got over 9 brands to choose from at their Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville locations. Suzuki, KTM, Kawasaki, just to name 3 of them. If you think of it, they probably have it at their 3 locations, also providing outstanding service and parts capabilities and deliveries. It's Wood Power Sports, woodpowersports.com, the website. They're a solid name you can trust. Kevin Bohannon getting into Arkansas baseball, the future with the draft, and the future with the incoming transfer class in just a moment on Halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
But there's so much to do here in Arkansas, like going to Gaston's or hanging out.
What a segue, man. Them broadcasting lessons I'm paying for are finally paying off.
Gavin said that you could just trade me for half a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yeah, give me the pickles on that half. The Chick-fil-A sauce will go with it as well.
Weekdays from 9 to 11.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
And hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, it's Todd Richardson. We're still at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. We are giving away our 20th annual football trip of a lifetime. I know some of you are familiar. Some of you don't know what I'm talking about. So here's the deal. Come in, see me before 1:30, eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less, and you will be qualified to win that football trip of a lifetime to Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Las Vegas Raiders. There's also a bunch of other great prizes. If you have the Hardee's app downloaded, or you can come in and download it, you get to spin the wheel. There's a lot of stuff going on, including winning a free lunch for your office up to 10 people. Come on by and see Dwayne there at. And $3.50 Monster Burgers if you want to swing by the drive-thru. Fort Smith and Southall locations only at Hardee's.
Summer is here, and Gelco Outdoors has the outdoor gear for you. Hiking boots by Salomon, running shoes by Under Armour, fishing shoes by Extra Tough and Under Armour, dry fit fishing and outdoor clothing by AFCO, Ariat, Drake, Hook, and Under Armour. Take advantage of the hot summer deals on summer clothing with buy one, get the second at 50% off. See store for details. For all your summer fishing, Gelco has the gear. Hunters, get ready for bow season. Gelco Outdoors, your one-stop summer store. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. See, we can go where we want to. Place where they will never find. And we can act like we come from out of this world. We don't be one far behind.
Don't stay.
We can go if we want to.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Kevin Bohannon joining us here on Halftime Baseball Talk with Cabo with a couple of days, well, 3 days before the Major League Draft begins in Atlanta, as they continue to keep it with All-Star Weekend, basically ticking off every single college coach. Kevin, good, yeah, he's on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. How you doing? That's never going to change, right? They're always going to keep it in July now.
They're always going to move it, and the calendars will never line up. The portal dates will offset from the MLB draft. At least they got the moving target of when you have to turn 21 by. They set that at August 1st. So maybe that's the first sign of the MLB and NCAA getting their act together.
Well, it'd be interesting, August, because it used to be a 45-day window. So if you're doing 45 days, maybe we'll get back into June. I don't think we will, though. Arkansas, I think I saw D1 Baseball had the Razorbacks with the second most players that are ranked for this draft, second to Tennessee, which tells you the kind of talent you saw at the Super Regional this year. LSU would have as many players probably available, but they got guys that still aren't draft eligible, and it's the same with the Razorbacks. So will this be a draft where there are three hogs that get drafted the first day or maybe even the first round?
That would be a historical draft for the Razorbacks. I wrote in my article on hogsports.com, did a MLB draft primer, that there have never been four hogs taking in the top 3 rounds. There have never been 2 first-round picks in the same draft. Arkansas has the potential to have 3 players drafted in the first round. It looks like Gage Wood and Vahiva Aloy are as near of a lock as you can have for the MLB draft to get picked in the first round. I've seen Gage as high as number 14 to the Athletics. It looks like college-heavy teams like the Braves, the A's, maybe the Brew Crew have been linked to Gage so far. The Cubs keep coming up with Vahiva Aloy. We've seen the Cubs with their history of drafting Razorbacks. Of course, they got Christian Franklin, Connor Nolan. They like Arkansas guys. They got Jordan Wicks, even though he went to Kansas State. And then Charles Davalon. He's been mentioned at the end of the first round. Now, it's not like the NBA and NFL, listeners. So there's not 32 picks, and they move to the next round. There are 43 picks in the first round this year when you look at compensation picks, prospect promotion incentive picks, and then competitive balance, because it's all about equality in the MLB. They have to give the small market teams a chance to, play with the big boys. So there's 43, and Davalon I've seen has been linked to the Marlins at number 43. That would make 3. And then Zach Root would be number 4. He's been slotted anywhere in late second to early third round.
There's guys that you know are going in the draft, and so they're not going to be back with Arkansas. But then there are some that you kind of wonder about, and you know that they're draft eligible and that the scouts like them. It's just you also wonder there's still a year of eligibility for some of them, and so they have that leverage, and they can come back and make money. Maybe not make the same amount of money they could have made 2 or 3 years ago, but they still can make money. Thinking Brent Iredale, I'm thinking Justin Thomas Jr. Those are the two in terms of position players that I do wonder if. I know that they're draft eligible and very well could get drafted, but I wonder if they may end up coming back.
Yeah, and Perfect Game released their top 500 draft board today. Now, it's important to know the difference between mock draft and prospect list or prospect draft board. Joe Doyle does a 615 player list. It's ridiculous. It's pretty in depth, but that's just a list, a prospect list of who he thinks the best players in the draft are. So many different variables that go into it. Leverage is the big one. Let's look at Ryan Prager from Texas A&M from last year. He was drafted number 81 to the Angels last year. He did not sign. On Perfect Game's draft board, he's number 259 this year, so he lost leverage. He had the chance to make $1 million, become a millionaire last year. Didn't have the best year this season, so he's going to drop down the draft board, and he doesn't have that leverage again. So Justin Thomas, every scout that I've talked to, whether it be National League or American League, thinks the athleticism and what he did towards the end of the season will be enough to get him drafted high enough to where he signs. And Brent Iredale, and Phil, correct me on this, but I think he falls into the Brady Slavens boat. Mm-hmm. He did as much at Arkansas this year that he could probably do. Now, he could come back and put up some better numbers. The batting average fell off towards the end of the year, but he did hit 14 bombs and have 57 RBIs. He had a good on-base percentage, showed a good enough glove at third base that he could stick over there. So I just don't see him coming back to improve anything especially when you have a little bit of leverage like he has. Money always comes into it. And I put in my article, it's all about the Benjamins, whether it be with the MLB clubs or the players themselves. So if there's money that's needed and MLB clubs can meet it, that's when the marriage happens. That's when the relationships start getting formed. So there will be constant back and forth between agents and MLB personnel. There's 3 other guys that really fall in the category as well. Moving on to the pitching staff, Aiden Jimenez, Parker Coyle, and Ben Bybee. Yeah. Aiden Jimenez, of course, is 1 year removed, 1+ year removed from Tommy John surgery. Does he want to come back and show that he can be a starter? Can he show that he can be a durable guy that can be relied upon in the professional ranks? That's something that he has to make a decision on. Parker Coyle, if he wouldn't have been hurt, Phil, I think would have been a high enough draft pick that he goes. But Parker, he was number 231 on Baseball America's draft board coming out of high school. He was a draft risk. Didn't really do much his first 2 years, got hurt this year. And Ben Bybee showed flashes of brilliance. Vanderbilt is the one that stands out the most. But then again, there's been times where he throws it over the middle of the plate and gets hammered. So those 3 guys, I consider there's not enough information, and they're just going to kind of have to wait and see.
Right now, only 3 pitchers have announced transferring in: Jackson Wells, Ethan McIlvain, Jackson Kircher. Are they waiting on the draft to maybe bring more in, or do you think there's going to be a few more pitchers that come in from the transfer portal anyway?
Yeah, I know they're hot on one, Joey Volko from Stanford. He's supposed to make a visit down to LSU. That's the Stanford righty that's in the Cape Cod League, pitching right now for Katuitt. He's been up to 100 miles per hour. Problem is his command. It's bad. Arkansas has not brought in a guy that is raw, unpolished like that. You think back to last year, they got Beidelshees and Root. Those guys were established. Those guys had pretty good command of 2 or 3 pitches. Volko has 8 strikeouts and 10 walks so far in the Cape. So high upside, a lot of raw ability. He was lighting up draft boards last year coming into the season. And then his strikeout to walk ratio wasn't very good. So what Matt Hobbs can do with these guys, Ethan McIlvain kind of falls in the same category. McIlvain can be a first-round draft pick next year. Lefty up to 97, but he had a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio this year, 47 to 25, so a little less than 2-to-1.
So, Kevin, I also saw just signs that this big lefty, Joey Lorenzini, who's from,
Lorenzini.
He's from Rockin', California. What a town name. It sounds like he might make it to campus. You think this is somebody that might be able to help early? And when you talk about a freshman helping early, it's probably in the back, not the back of the pen, but one of the last guys in the pen.
Yeah, it is, especially with the guys that are coming back. When you look at a Gackle, Gibbler, Fisher's going to be looked upon to maybe take a starting role next year. The freshmen that are coming in, they need to come along slowly because it's a different game. But Lorenzini's been 90 to 93 with his fastball. He had Tommy John early in his career. I think when he was 14 years old. So coming back from that, he's a two-sport guy, played football, but a good frame, good build. He's 6'5". I've gotten the chance to talk to him. He's a fun guy to get to know, and I think Razorback fans will really like him. If he can come on campus, show the work ethic and the attitude that a lot of these guys come in that they're just ready to work. Carson Wiggins, Steele Lee, the guys that got to throw this year. Cole Gibbler's another example. They got to get their feet wet in their first year and show that they were, could be relied upon in big games and big stretches of the postseason. So I believe he is a guy that can come in and do that. He's on draft boards in the 400 to 500 range. He is leaning toward. He knows he needs some work, and he knows if he comes to Arkansas with what Matt Hobbs has produced, he could be a top 3 round draft pick if he comes and works.
So last thing here before we go, and then we can do this again in a couple weeks to focus a little more on the transfers coming in. But what do you make of Kuhio Aloy learning right field at the Cape and bringing in 3 starters for the outfield? Damian Ruiz, Micah Niu, and Zach Stewart coming in from Missouri State. These are guys who produced big time where they already were. I think Niu is learning center field in the Cape because he was a shortstop that made 33 errors. But there's going to be some competition, and I don't think they want Kuhio to be a DH, but he may end up being one again.
Yeah, the thing with Kuhio is if he wants to play professional baseball field, he needs to take 1,000 fly balls a day. He needs to learn to play right field. He came as a pitcher to BYU, showed he could hit, and that next thing you know, he's all SEC. So that's what the coaching staff said. Go take as many fly balls as you can. Learn how to read the ball off the bat. So Micah Niu could get drafted. He's a triangle guy. He's like Casey Martin was. He could play second, short, or center field. Got that from Tim Corbin from Vanderbilt. So he's a triangle guy. He could play in the middle of the triangle. Blazing speed. He clocked a 4.06 to first base the other day from a righty. That's lightning speed. Good enough arm to play in center field as well. So he may get drafted. I think he was an insurance policy, and then Damian Ruiz was a high-profile target that they wanted to get. Ruiz could slide over to center. Stewart could shift from right to left. The good thing is they'll have some competition like they did last year, and the cream will rise to the top.
All right, let's leave it there. Kevin, always fun doing this stuff. Draft is Sunday next week, so maybe a week or 2 after we'll visit again, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Phil.
You got it. Kevin Bohannon with us today to talk some Arkansas baseball. I want to thank Valley Family Dental, and we'll remind you that they used to be known as Riley Farm Dental. Valley Family Dental, still providing every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman Farmer and Dr. Blaine Van Nice giving their patients better lives. You'll leave with a better smile, feel more confident, have a comfortable experience every time. Specializing in general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and same-day crowns. If you tell the folks at Valley Family Dental they heard about them on ESPN Radio, you get $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A, 226-3500, valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Clay Henry's going to stop by, talking yesterday's Razorback basketball practice right after this.
Hasta la vista, baby.
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Brought to you by the Capital One Savor Card. With Savor, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Savor Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The referee looks at his watch, and that's half-time.
This is halftime.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson back here at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Gonna be here till 1:30 today, giving away our 20th football trip of a lifetime. This is an annual thing we do with Hardee's each and every year, where you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less with me here at the Phoenix location, and you're gonna be entered to win the contest that people are dying to win every single year. You go to Las Vegas, Nevada this year, yes, to see the Dallas Cowboys and the Raiders. The best trip we've ever given away. If you want to take advantage of that by coming by to see me, hey, maybe you're just hungry. Maybe you want some lunch. Well, how about a $3.50 Monster Burger? Yes, we're rolling back 20 years. We've been doing this in 20 years. So 20 years ago, the price of a Monster Burger then was $3.50. So we're giving that to you to 1:30 today. Come on by and see us. Hardee's, Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Experience Razorback football on the Hill this fall as quarterback Taylon Green, defensive stalwart Cam Ball, and the Hogs will be returning to action for great home matchups, including the August 30th home opener, the first ever matchup with Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, on September 27th, and a matchup against Texas A&M inside Razorback Stadium for the first time since 2013. Secure your tickets online right now at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey everyone, Josh Earnhardt here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Do you like doing business with local companies? Did you know that AAA Business Systems is one of only a few truly local office technology providers in Northwest Arkansas? Ask your current technology provider where their corporate office is, and let's keep your money in Northwest Arkansas. Buy local, support local. Call us today at 479-442-4185, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Everybody that you run into, I know why you think everybody's but you. If you don't, for heck, the Bible in his hand. Yo. Yeah. You can't tell me what everything that away. Yo. See all
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
I can't hear this song, Matt, without hearing the Moonlighting theme. Of course, this was about the time that Bruce was doing Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd and playing the harmonica at the same time as a blues artist. I mean, use the word artist? Maybe.
Would he be a triangle guy?
He would be a triangle guy. That's right. He would be the guy playing the triangle. Clay Henry's a triangle guy with us for at least a moment. Clay, of course, joining us normally Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We got him for a segment here on a Thursday. Hall of Fame sports writer. Read him at Whole Hog Sports. And if you do that right now, you'll see a column about yesterday's basketball practice, which felt unique, Clay. Did it look unique?
It was nothing like I'd ever been to. I've been into some practices, but this was, a corner of the court, was surrounded by about 25, 30 media guys, and we had little black seats to sit in. I got a padded seat. I was special. Everybody else got those hard aluminum ones. In
the Hall of Fame seat. That's right.
I sit down by Lindy Lindsay, and he goes, "Come on, Clay, these are padded." And it was really cool. And I probably had a different mission than everybody else. And I knew that the young guys, when I say young guys, anybody under 71 to me is a young guy. So I figured they were all going to be looking at the new players and, and seeing what's happened, and I did that. But really what I was studying was to coach. And, why were we there? And I asked that in the press conference. I said, why'd you have us here today? And he didn't give the answer that I think is the right answer. And this is what I wrote. And I think the reason why we were there is that he's so proud of this bunch, and he knows that he's got something special. And he kind of spilled the beans a little bit, but he didn't elaborate. And I didn't get a chance for a second question because I didn't ask to ask another question. I didn't really want to ask and point somebody towards what I was going to write. He thinks that he's got a team that can play an Elite Eight schedule, play those teams that the Elite Eight that he's scheduled. And he says, you schedule to your team. Well, he's got that kind of team. And he didn't say that, but it's, if you read between the lines, that's why we were there, just to see what he's got. And you see the growth in the four returning players, Brazil, Wagner, Knox, and Thompson. You see the maturity that they have come, and you see the thickening in the arms with Brazil. I mean, and then you see Ewan and Pringle and Thomas and Acup and Seeley. You see all that. But it's the whole picture in the way he coached, the enthusiasm, and the way he coaches the young players. And he spoke a couple of times during practice. We're taking the high school out of you. You can't. That won't work in the SEC. That's not. And I listened to all that, but that's kind of a nutshell. You probably have a question now, Phil.
Well, it just was, the idea of why are we here. Too, it's also the timing on the calendar. Like if you want to show your team off for basketball, even at Arkansas, or knowing who you got, now's the time to do it because media days is next week, and then everybody else. It's also if you want to get the media members there, because they're all going to be writing football and covering football after once media days starts to once football season's over. So I think that's got to be an aspect of it too, and it's pride in it. But he wouldn't have been able to do it last year because he didn't have a team. He couldn't have a team that could even practice.
Yeah, and that was my point. He when he sat down, he goes, "What did y'all notice?" And there were 4 or 5 decent answers, and I said, "I noticed there's a lot of guys out there, and that's different than last year when they were to get 5 on the court together, they had to have 2 managers or 2 GAs." Tyler Eulis or some, another GA or a manager. And they went 5 on 5 at the end. And either one of those 5, like Carter Knox and Billy Richmond were lined up opposite each other. I mean, that's iron sharpening iron. A-Cup and Wagner opposite each other, and it's iron sharpening iron. That either one of those group of five would have beat the starting five of the first month of the season last year. I'm not going to say they would have beat the team at the end of the year because that team was tough. That team was gritty, and they would grind on you. And I'm not sure this team is ready to grind on anybody because they're working offensive sets, offensive concepts. You could see in the 2-on-2, the 3-on-3, they're working concepts, decision making. And I will say this: that's the first Calipari practice that I've seen. I've seen Eddie Sutton practices. I've seen Nolan Richardson practices, and I've seen 2 or 3 Eric Musselman practices. I saw a lot of Sutton in both at Arkansas and Oklahoma State. Saw a lot of Nolan at Tulsa and Arkansas. His practices are good, and he coaches. The other guys will coach some, but he is the singular coach, just like Nolan, Musselman, and Sutton. He's every bit the coach that those guys. I mean,
deepest team you've seen, Clay, in what, a decade or so? Sounds like maybe not just one player stood out, but what stands out is the fact that there's talent up and down the roster.
Matt, you talk about pterodactyls. What I saw were water moccasins. And
couple Fred Tallies, huh? Just quick as a hiccup. Yeah.
I do want my basketball players to have arms, though.
So water moccasins, they have venom. They
got a little nasty in them.
They will strike you. They have no fear. That's the thing about a water moccasin. It's going to come at you. And these guys will go at you, and they can get theirs. Like last year, they didn't have guys that could just go get theirs. And I think, John spoke of that afterwards, that they'll have several guys that can go get theirs. And in crunch time, when it's really hard and you're playing a good defensive team, somebody has to go get theirs. Then the other thing, and everything that I'm telling you I wrote about, and probably a lot that we don't have time, this is going to be a short segment, right? They can pass, they can catch. And I kind of remarked in my column that, like Nolan's first team, he later referenced them as the bad hands Hogs. The leftovers of the Eddie Sutton team, that they just weren't very good. Well, they couldn't play fast because they had only played slow, and they had time to think about what they were doing. They couldn't catch and pass. And I will say the length of this team and the ability to pass, the hands in the post, the ability to play through the post and have post action inside out. They'll have that with this bunch because they can all. Pringle's got good hands. He's not a shooter, but Ewan is a shooter and he has hands and he can handle it, bring it up at 6'10". So, and Brazil is he's up and away now. I mean, his development, confidence. You see him smile, and I noticed that, and I sat with somebody that kind of went through his evolution last year. Sat during practice with someone and talked about that sometimes he was just down, but I think that he knows in its confidence that he's going to be a lottery pick, and he's playing like it. He didn't finish at the rim a couple of times and probably got fouled pretty good, but Cal said afterwards that he's been finishing all those plays. But just the way he coached them, the way he talked to them, he's not yelling and screaming. Boy, he coaches them and he holds them accountable, and he will stop a practice and fix something. And, I go back to Chad Morris's time. I watched their practices, and they would make mistakes, and he didn't fix them. Well, guess what happens? You make those mistakes in the game. And that's elite coaching. I mean, this guy is Hall of Fame, and I have always maintained when he was at Kentucky, and people would say, he does less with more, and that's just BS. I mean, it is really hard to take a young, ego driven player that's been told since he was 12 that he's LeBron James or Michael Jordan, these 5 stars, and then coach the high school out of them. And I saw him stop and show definite skill situations. You can't do that. And in that, there's an art to being able to do it and build them up and move them forward at the same time. You can crush a young player and break their confidence, and then it's, you don't see them again until they're a junior. So
I didn't get the high school washed off of me until ever, I don't think. So good for them for having that at some point. You ever describe anybody as a water moccasin before? That's a first.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's an old phrase. And Bill Connors, who was my mentor and was sports editor at the Tulsa World, he talked about water moccasins. A lot of times it was about a strong safety or a inside linebacker that's going to, inside linebackers. Wilson Matthews told me this once, probably twice, maybe 10 times. An inside linebacker, you don't really need to say much to them. They either are or they're not. They go get the ball. And he says, you want water moccasins at that position. You want water moccasins at strong safety. Because once they see where the ball's going, they got to get there. And they either make tackles or they don't make tackles.
No room to be timid. That's right. And
that's
one of the best to ever do it, Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Same deal. Yeah,
fits
same
perfectly.
deal. Yeah, but I mean, if you grew up in where I did in Southwest Little Rock, back of our yard, was against Bush Creek, and it rained, and those water moccasins came out of the creek to the yard, and they didn't slow down. There was only one thing to do. You take a hoe and chop their head off because they're coming at you.
That's right. That's what you got shovels for. Clay, we're up against the break. So
okay. Thank y'all for asking me today.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Of course, you can read Clay's column about Cal and practice at Whole Hog Sports. I was kind of stuck on snake nicknames. Kenny Stabler, Jake the Snake Roberts. But then, of course, there's a guy who just passed away a week or so ago that's going into the Hall of Fame this month. The Cobra, Dave Parker. It's always good to be named after a snake. Sea snake. We'll see if
like
that fits in.
Yeah, like a sea snake.
877-377-6963. You want to pick up the phone and spit some venom at us. And also remember about Rhoback.com. I just put in an order for a brand new shirt for baseball season next year. They got lots of Arkansas gear that's licensed specially to Rhoback.com. I got myself a Ball Walker shirt. You can go to Rhoback.com, enter the code RUSH25 at checkout. Get 20% off your first order, RHOBACK.com. Rhoback, where action meets comfort. We're back to wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime in a moment.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is Halftime.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort. We're a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Do you want to be home every weekend, use brand new equipment, and make a competitive salary? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, call 479-646-4685. That's 646-4685. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn Lumber.com. Lavorne Lumber. Paying the bills, we'll take care of you.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Fucking at you. I love you. I love you too. I see it there and there's nothing else to do. Oh, it's in color. Your hair is brown. Your eyes are hazel. And so just clouds. I often beat you when there's no one else around.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I walked over to the coffee maker a moment ago, so I had to reach into the refrigerator, grab another bottle of water here. And over by the coffee maker is the single dirtiest coffee mug in the central time zone. Like, this is dirtier than any coffee mug in the city of Chicago,
snake in there?
Dallas, Kansas City, whatever. Look at this thing, man. Look at that.
A lot of residual.
Yeah, that's about, I don't know, 800 cups of coffee and the residue left over from them, which basically means that you let the coffee dry inside the mug and then don't even clean it afterward. I know he's proud of this as Ty's coffee mug.
His immune system.
You are not allowed to clean this at all. That's what I've been told. I'll give him this. There's no mold growing in this thing yet, but there will be at some point.
God.
Soap is a good thing, Matt. Soap's a good thing for getting under your fingernails, under the armpits, wash the body and everything. And it's good on...
Would it even work?
In a coffee mug, too.
On that coffee mug? It's probably stained.
And, dedication. That's someone that takes time, puts effort in. I mean, that's 5-star material right there. I dig it, Ty. Good
I
work.
only know people that are like this with coffee. Like, even beer drinkers. You'll clean out your beer glass before you do. But I had a friend of mine that would cover Travelers games that after we'd come back from a road trip and there was still coffee left in the coffee maker from 7 days before. And of course, at that point, you get a little white stuff floating off the top of it. He would just dump the thing out. He wouldn't clean it. And who knows what kind of residue is in it. Who knows how many years lopped off his life just from ingesting tiny little spores in the coffee that he shouldn't have been drinking to begin with. Now, Ty's very proud of his coffee mug. He's very proud that he drinks coffee. But I also, like, I don't know.
What is it?
Dishwashers are a good thing.
When you drink your coffee, cream, sugar, or just black?
Depends on how I'm feeling. These days,
sugar.
these days I'm racing you, Matt. So I'm putting coffee and heavy cream in my coffee for the moment. It's sugar and heavy cream. We'll see how long I continue to do that. But that's because we're racing. That's the only other reason. I'm just, it's basically just getting me to the finish line a little bit quicker.
It's you got to compete.
Like my coffee, like
competitors compete. Yeah, like my coffee. I can't even say it.
Like your bowling balls. Yeah,
exactly right. Yes, with 3 holes in it. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Brett Dolan's coming up about 15 minutes from right now. So we're wide open for you in hour number 3. Stay with halftime on this coffee drinking Thursday.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Ty Richardson back here at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Congrats to our guy Quinn, who once again is qualified for the 20th annual football trip of a lifetime. You say, well, how does Quinn now have a chance to go to Las Vegas, Nevada and watch the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders? Well, he came in, made a monster burger in less than 150 seconds. In fact, I think he did it in about 48 seconds. So if you want to, again, be like Quinn, have a chance to go to Las Vegas, then you've got to come in and see me before 1:30 today at 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and have that opportunity to win a football trip of a lifetime. In addition to that, they've got $3.50 monster burgers. So if you just want to, maybe you don't have time, but you're still hungry, stop in the drive-thru at Fort Smith and South Salt location. It's Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. The future of office printing is here with Xerox's Connect Key technology and cloud connectivity. Xerox offers seamless integration, top-notch security, and unmatched efficiency to help your business stay ahead. Don't miss out. Call us today at 783-6600 and ask about our special offer for a free Xerox color printer with many Xerox models. Dixie Digital Imaging, leading the way in office technology.
Evan Cohen here. According to a recent ZipRecruiter survey, 76% of employers plan to expand headcount for 2025. If you're one of these employers, add ZipRecruiter's latest feature, Zip Intro, to your hiring plan. It does most of the work for you, so you save time. Just pick a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. You can even meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
April showers bring May flowers to spring. June heat. Remember the June heat with the air you can wear? Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning. We offer the highest efficiency home comfort system on the market today with the York Affinity Series. So for all your high efficiency heating and cooling needs, plumbing and drain cleaning, get a red truck rolling your way today. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning in York. Give us a call at 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower. Thunderstorm high temperatures into the low 90s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight, and then Thursday, sunshine, low 90s. Friday, we're back to sunny skies and a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 51 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that would respect you. Ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah.
Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, moving along into a Thursday at 1:01 in the afternoon. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. 877-377-6963 if you have anything you want to get with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. You've kind of wondered, is the house settlement and these revenue share payments going to, quote unquote, level the playing field for recruits and for schools that may not have been able to get in to some recruits? And I'm not sure if that's even going to be the case here. Just look here between this kid who just committed today, the number one overall recruit, according to ESPN, in the 2026 class. Lamar Brown is this kid's name. 6'5", 285-pound defensive tackle from Irwinville, Louisiana. And even made his decision on SportsCenter. He chose LSU. He chose LSU over A&M, Miami, and Texas. I don't know who Bryce Underwood was down to in terms of his Final Four from last year. He's the number one recruit for this year. But I remember he had signed with LSU, ends up at Michigan with a little more payment to him. Matt, these are the same schools that may have been battling for the number one overall recruit in 2018 and 2019, even Miami, because they were getting in on NAL before that was even legal. So if I'm just going by this here and an incoming recruit, this revenue share, I don't think is going to be leveling the playing field for incoming classes.
I'm I know we were talking about Penn State and Notre Dame, and I think a little bit of it is based on their schedule. I don't know that it's as tough, but the team out of the SEC this year, Phil, that scares me, and you just brought up LSU, they have the best quarterback. And I know a lot of people, Arch Manning, and it's kind of the same concept we're getting in with basketball. Got a lot of freshmen, or do you want a fifth-year senior? Maybe by the time you're a sophomore, he's better, but that fifth-year senior that's been in the program for 5 years off-season, LSU and their quarterback, man, LSU, to me, they would be preseason number one. That's the scariest team out there, in my opinion.
No, they are rebuilding that offensive line. I think they've got 4 new starters on the line. Now,
they had the first was their left tackle was the first
Campbell. Yeah, the guy with the short arms that still ended up going really, really early. Anyway, but they got to replace. If I remember the receivers' names, Kyron Lacey,
They had about
C.J. Daniels too. So there's a lot to replace there. It's the same at Arkansas. You look at that. I mean, so it's Garrett Nussmeier. In terms of the tools, yeah, and I off the top of my head, I can't remember all of the players that are coming into LSU. But they got I think one of Kentucky's top receivers, Oklahoma's top receiver, bringing in other players for the offensive line that were playing Power 5 football. I don't think it's taken that step up, but you do wonder about it because you got a quarterback who's at the top of the list for the Heisman and the first overall pick potentially in Nussmeier. There's a lot to rebuild below that on his side.
Manning?
Well, no, Nussmeier too. Nussmeier's near the top of the list for the Heisman. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. I would think so. I would think that if he was going to be a first-round pick, he would have left last year. So I wonder how strong his arm is. I know he's very accurate, and the thing is, he's familiar. He's been in the system. He knows where to go with the ball. And if you remember watching that Arkansas LSU game last year, he had a clean jersey going into the third. We couldn't. He just kept picking us apart. He knew he could see. He dissected it, diagnosed it, knew where to go with the ball. Was so quick with his delivery, and that's the type of thing that scares you a little bit.
This here with this top overall recruit. Again, it's for the 2026 class. Lamar Brown. It's a Louisiana kid who chose his hometown, his home state, who chose the state of Louisiana over Texas and A&M and Miami. I mean, there's 3 SEC schools that were in on him. And then, I don't know if Miami's got the most money in the ACC, but they certainly have close to that. So that doesn't change anything from previous years, because does it come down to money? Does it come down to where you're from? Does it come down to mystique? And it's, the more that contracts end up being a part of this, and you can keep kids around for 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I don't know if revenue share leads to parity. That's the hope. Brett Bielema is saying all the right things about revenue share and parity. But if there's going to be any parity about this, because this whole system ends up changing again in the next 5 years or so, it better help very quickly. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive hotline. We had an interesting conversation earlier today with Danny West from 24/7 Sports, hogsports.com. C-Unit will have it on the Eastside Liquor podcast. And, Matt, there's so much desire, I think, to have a connection between Arkansas football and the best players in the state of Arkansas. You've hit on that quite a bit. But I thought Danny, and I've got to read his column about this. I know he wrote a column at hogsports.com about it that I think is VIP from a couple of weeks ago, and I got to get my eyes on that. But just judging on what he was talking about, the thing that the revenue share has done to Arkansas when it comes to the best players in the state, and you end up losing some of them because you don't want to spend your revenue share dollars on those kids as freshmen. Where are you going to build the program from? Because if you spend money on freshmen, incoming freshmen, and it's big dollars, there's no guarantee that works out. Heck, there's no guarantee that big dollars work out on somebody coming in from the transfer portal. But there's someone coming in from the portal already is more developed, has been through college before. I just wonder, you have to have incoming classes, but you'd asked this question earlier. With a class of, I think it's 24 this year, 26 next year, does that number get lower? Does it get into the teens?
It's harder for freshmen to get on the field in the SEC, but because of that reason, maturity, there's a reason why basketball players, they let you go after 1 year, after your 18th. In football, you have to stay 3 years removed from high school because your body's not mature enough yet. And so, yeah, that's what was that team 2 or 3 years ago that got the A&M coach the biggest payout in the history of college football? We have the best freshman class in the history of football. They couldn't win a game because they're all freshmen. You got to kind of have a nice balance. And when my 4 years there with Coach Nutt, 5, 6, 7 freshmen, that's about all you really want in the rotation that you want playing. You want upper. It doesn't mean you can't go get a freshman. He can't play a little bit, and then you're going to see him improve. But yeah, that I guess that becomes a dilemma. Do you take a kid that's a freshman because he's an in-state kid and you know he's going to be good in a couple years, or do you go get a kid from Ball State or go get a kid from Rutgers that's been through or Georgia? Didn't we get an offensive lineman from Georgia Tech? It's like, because he's been through a couple off season. The truth is that kid that's been through the couple off seasons for 3 years is going to be better that year. But maybe down the line, that freshman, he might end up being better. And maybe you have to see him. I don't know if you have like a feeder school, but what's wrong with like having cahoots, being tight with a UCA and Arkansas State, having these kids stay in state, going to one of those schools, and then the next year being able to transfer to Arkansas.
I wonder too about and I'll use the word that none of the colleges want to use, salary structure for somebody coming in on a freshman deal. And the idea is, well, you're going to be here at least 3 years.
You get this amount of money, and if you play, you get this. But we can't do that. We can't do that.
Right, because you can't go over the cap, theoretically, unless you do, which was another thing that I'd asked Danny about. Because there are schools that are doing this, and I don't know if Arkansas is, where you are like this kid who's making 5.1 for Texas Tech. He's an incoming offensive lineman, 5-star, but you don't know what you're going to get out of him. 5.1 is not what he's getting from the revenue share. They're not spending 10% of their revenue share on him this year. What they're doing is that they're still paying him a lot of that NIL money that may end up being illegal, that may end up being something that the NIL Go clearinghouse says the kid's market value doesn't equal this. And they're going to dare NIL Go to do something about it. You know, that's taking what Texas Tech did last year, front loading all these contracts and saying, well, we're going to take this revenue share money and we're going to keep, I don't know if it's front loading contracts, but we're going to keep all the NIL added on, you know, from the collectives. The collectives get shut down, but the schools may end up just throwing extra money at them anyway and daring the clearinghouse to do something about it. You know, that may be what Arkansas needs to do, but in order for that to happen, you got to have a benefactor. Texas Tech has that benefactor. And I kind of wonder if you're doing the same thing maybe with basketball, men's basketball. You have a benefactor for men's basketball. There is no benefactor for football. There's a full benefactor for all athletics at Texas Tech. Every program there. You know, here you got one for one. And football could certainly use one. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. Heck, who's the benefactor at Miami? Isn't it Luke from 2 Live Crew? He is. And he's only one of them. Brett Dolan
Michael
joining
Urban.
us. Well, that's right. Yeah, I guess you could have said Odell Beckham was a benefactor on the football field after LSU won the championship, throwing money at somebody. But that is kind of the same thing. Brett Dolan joining us in a moment on Halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Southpaw from Memphis, Tennessee, number 10, Todd Day. What a slam dunk by the freshman out of Memphis.
All right, Todd, what do you think of the intro? Is that legendary enough for you?
It was great. Yeah, it was legendary.
Don't miss a Morning Rush, only on ESPN 95.3. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, it's Cy Richardson. We're live at Hardee's 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. We already had 3 qualifiers today. That might be the most for an opener, including our guy Brad, who just finished. Brad, how confident are we heading for what would you say, your 10th one that we're going to be participating in?
I would say this year makes number 10.
Okay. Well, I feel confident. You're always a guy that competes, and again, that's what we're about here at ESPN Arkansas. So if you want to compete for the 20th annual football trip of a lifetime, thanks to Hardee's, it is in Allegiant Stadium. Dallas Cowboys taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. If you want a chance to go see that, then you got to be like Brad. You got to be like Tyler. You got to be like Quentin. You got to come see me before 1:30 today and eat a Monster Burger in 90 or 150 seconds or less. 150 seconds. You can do that. Come on by and see us. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue, right here in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson, I want to update you what's going on with Jam Mart, and there are 5 locations in Arkansas. The Greenwood location has just implemented state-of-the-art gas dispensers. Come by and see them in Bulldog Country, next to Jules Bakery. You know I love the full-service deli in Jam Mart number 10. I'm excited to announce that the Phoenix location is getting one too. If you haven't already, make sure to download the Jam Mart Rewards app, become a member, and start saving today. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
What do Formula One, the Peanuts cartoon strip, and Jay Leno all have in common with Crabtree RV Center? Yes, you guessed it. They are all celebrating 75 in 2025. Crabtree RV Center is so thrilled to have seen 75 wonderful years of business in the River Valley, and we want to celebrate with all of you. Come in today and take advantage of our 75-year anniversary sale going on every day at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas. Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, parts, and rentals. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for 75 years.
A lot of life can happen between sips of Dasani. You know, the life moments, big and small, that are worth getting thirsty for. Like organizing a family movie night under the stars. Or hearing an old favorite song and having an impromptu dance party. Or finding a new dinner recipe that the whole family loves. The crisp, clean taste of Dasani was made for all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Dasani. Because life happens between sips.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
I tell you I'm all right now, but last week I was in rough shape. I don't get a break with nothing. I played hide and seek when I was 3.
No respect, no respect.
Why they wouldn't even look for me?
No respect, no respect.
I was an ugly kid. I never had fun.
No respect, no respect.
They took me to a dog show and I won.
No respect, no respect.
When I was born, I brought no joy.
No respect, no respect.
My old man said he wanted a boy.
No respect, no respect.
I was an ugly kid, always alone.
No respect, no respect.
Halloween, I had to trick or treat over the phone.
No respect, no respect.
Friends don't call, my phone don't ring. I don't get a break with anything.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Yeah, my wife told me to take her somewhere she'd never been before, so I took her to the kitchen. I have a really bad Dangerfield imitation. I'd forgot about that song, Matt. Well chosen. One-hit wonders, and I guess that was Dangerfield's hit? Is that a hit?
That's the only one I found, but we're doing a little throwback to the 80s. It's just a tribute, and we've had some good. We had a Bruce Willis appearance earlier that I thought was pretty cool.
Hey, look, the 80s opened with Caddyshack, and nobody had dance moves.
Corey Hart started us off,
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're talking about Dangerfield, the dance moves he shows on the golf course, when they start dancing a Journey,
should have yelled too.
Nobody ever danced like that before.
Bet you get a free bowl of soup with that.
Well, looks great on you. Speaking of looking great, Brett Dolan's with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Where in the world is Brett Dolan today?
I'm in the Lone Star State, and that was a perfect segue, by the way. I love that.
Very good. What's going on in Texas?
Just a chance to throw some BP, maybe, work out my daughter a little bit, see how the shoulder and arm's feeling. So I get to be a pretend coach for a couple of days and wear her out.
Sounds like fun, mate. If you're going to be throwing batting practice for softball, do you do it underhand or overhand?
Yeah, I do, and it's not good. And in fact, at times it can be pretty terrible. I just try and find a little rhythm where I can get 6-7 pitches in a row somewhere near the strike zone and then go retrieve everything that's been hit.
That's like Little League distances, too, for softball, Brett. So are you going to have an L screen, or are you just going to duck?
No, I need an L screen. I'm getting to that point. It's not as if my old reactions are that poor, but the close distance, I don't need to take anything off my forehead or worse, my ankles or whatever else. So there's a definite L screen.
All right. So where else are you? Because I know you've been all over the place. You've been in Colorado. Have you been in Arizona? And now you're in Texas? Like, when do you not travel?
And then next week I've got a Braves-Yankees game a week from tomorrow, and then I'm going to see my son in Nashville, and then I'm coming back, and I'm going to San Diego for Mets-Padres. So it's not a busy month, but it's just a few things. So I had a chance to go to Colorado. They got a massive youth softball tournament, and saw our Arkansas staff there and did 4 telecasts, and then snuck over to Phoenix. We didn't do the Perfect Game showcase this year, although I popped in and saw the Diamondbacks and Royals and got a chance to visit with James McCann. So I try and make the most of this slower time here in the summer month as best I can.
Yeah, isn't Arizona the only team that's got 2 Razorbacks? Jalen Beeks and now McCann, who started the year with the Braves AAA and is now in Arizona. And we were talking a little bit off the air with Clay, and he thought that McCann may be getting some more playing time because they like a veteran catcher, and they got younger catchers who may have a little issue. I don't know if it's speaking the language, but a culture issue at Arizona. And then McCann, I think, might fit what they need.
We had a couple of hits. The game that I saw him start, certainly that was nice. And, I hope there's a chance for him to stick. I think he was probably worthy of being in the big leagues earlier when he was kind of stuck in the minors, I believe, in Atlanta's system. But, it was my first chance to meet him, Phil. I know he was in the ballpark a few years ago during the lockout early in the season, maybe early March. And I didn't get a chance to visit with him then, but certainly a very professional guy. He came in with his two kids, and it was nice to say hello. And I just brought up Ryder Helfrich's name because I know DVH likes to reference James McCann when he talks about Ryder as far as being a all-around performer and a guy who could be a future pro, and obviously coming from California. And he mentioned to me he certainly followed Ryder as best he could this year because he knows of the parallels. So it was a fun visit.
Sorry, so you said you got Braves, Yankees next week. Is that MLB Network? Where does this air?
That is correct. So it'll be the first game back out of the All-Star break. So it's my dugout reporting role that amuses me a little bit because I don't do a lot of it. But that'll be fun. That'll be Judge back in Atlanta after the All-Star game, and that'll be, again, a week from Friday. And then they threw me another Mets-Padres game 2 weeks from Monday. So it's a chance to kind of get out and work a couple of big league games before we grind towards August and the fall.
Saw where the Yankees didn't just bench DJ LeMahieu, they DFA'd him. I mean, he was total favorite, and he may have won an MVP or come pretty close maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Was still a productive hitter even 2 years ago. Now he's looking for a job, and Jazz Chisholm at second base.
Wild, isn't it? Didn't he win a batting title?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, that's right.
Which is strange. I mean, it's hard as a baseball fan to kind of watch the ebbs and flows of some of these teams. So there was a time about a month ago, the Mets and Yankees were probably two of the top 5 teams in baseball, and they could barely win games for a month. And, the Twins were terrible. Then they win 13, 14 in a row, and they're back to being terrible again. So it's really hard to kind of figure out who's good, who's not. And there seems to be a smaller and smaller core of really good teams. And, boy, the teams that aren't in that mix or trying to stay in that mix have gone through either injury troubles or transactions, and that would be a pretty crazy one to throw into that list.
You've been to All-Star games before? Then where is it, Atlanta this year? That's always fun. I love the All-Star game because to me it's the only All-Star game that may be worth watching, truthfully.
Yes, I mean, I would agree. I mean, the NBA is a hard watch, and baseball is a fun one. And I've been to one in Coors Field a number of years ago, and then to Kauffman Stadium when Bryce Harper was a rookie and Jose Altuve made his first game. And I kind of wanted to go. My son works for the Braves, and he had a chance to kind of help and work out of the home run derby, but it's his break, so he's flying elsewhere. And I was going to try and sneak in. It won't happen for me. I'll be there right after the break instead. But I'm with you. It's the one fun game, and I think we've got this year. If I saw the number, Phil, it was in excess of 20 players combined on the two rosters that are 25 or 26 years or younger. So it really is kind of the new wave of baseball talent. Hopefully they'll put on a good show for their big window.
Guys move their way up a lot quicker now than they used to when you and I were doing minor league baseball. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think we see it every day in the SEC. We see better competition. We see better velocity. I think probably, and neither one of us was doing a lot of college baseball probably 12, 15 years ago, but you didn't see the arms at the college ranks that probably compared to the minors, or you didn't see the depth of the volume or whatnot. It feels like at times when we're seeing a really good SEC series, there might be more potential pros there than if you drove over to Arvest Field and saw a double-A game, if you catch the wrong teams on the wrong days there. And it's just because I think the college ranks have done a better job developing talent and getting guys at least ready for their opportunity at the next level. So then if you excel, if you're a Jack Caglione or some of the guys we've seen, and still waiting to see Hagen Smith on that list, guys can move fast once they get into the minors because of that. And it's exciting to see, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
Caglione got up really quickly. He's hitting pretty well. It's pitchers that move rapidly through because you can tell how dominant they are. You just think of Skeens. And looking at a couple pitchers that are going to be first-round picks, Cade Anderson, Gage Wood. Now Gage is not going to be the first overall pick. He'll be somewhere in the teens. Anderson very well could be the top overall pick. This is different than when it was, well, you're going to take Skeens or you're going to take Cruz. And it was the Pirates that are making that choice. The Nationals are making that choice, and they got the pick. They got the second pick when it came to Skeens and Cruz. This is a college pitcher who looks like he's really close to the big leagues in Anderson versus a couple of high school infielders who have big league roots, and Eli Willits from Oklahoma, Ethan Holiday who's, of course, father is Matt Holiday. Eli Willits' dad is Reggie Willits, who's an assistant coach at Oklahoma and played in the big leagues for a few years. If you are making the choice for Washington, and some of it has to do with what they need, why wouldn't you take the major league ready lefty? Why wouldn't you?
Well, I would, for sure. I mean, I think Cade Anderson had put himself in position for that discussion. I know the game we saw him throw at Omaha. He carved up a really good offensive Razorback team, and they were just struggling. And I believe that translates quickly to the professional ranks. Now, the caveat is that the Nationals fired their general manager with longtime scouting background Mike Rizzo and their manager a couple of days ago, a few days before the draft. So I don't know what that does for their decision-making, but I would take Cade Anderson in what is a shortstop-heavy draft and maybe a college pitcher-heavy draft as well. But no, I think Anderson would be my pick if I had to go 1-1.
Is Aloy going to be a shortstop? Will he? Because I know he can play a lot of other positions, but to me, maybe some of it has to do with the team's needs and who they already have at short, and so they think, well, with this guy's bat and athleticism, we'll try him somewhere else. But I've always thought watching Vahiva as short, he's a shortstop at the next level.
I feel like he is, and I'm intrigued at times with the conversation on whether or not that'll be his position. Now, there's a couple of things that pop up. I don't know if we've ever seen quite the number of shortstops this year in the draft, and I know you were talking about it the other day when it comes to the postseason All-Americans, whether it's Chalowski, who's a sophomore, it's Lodis, it's Houston. There's a number of different guys that were really good shortstops, and Willits, and there's some high school kids as well. Obviously, Holiday's probably a shortstop. So you have your pick. So I don't know how that affects teams' decision-making. And the only other thing with that, Phil, is when we watched Bregman come through LSU, he was clearly a really good college shortstop, but he moved to third because Houston had Correa, and it was an easy transition, and teams were shifting, and the third base position was a little bit of a hybrid left side of the diamond infielder. And so I don't think anymore after watching Bregman go through that if you do have to move, it's a slight on your game that you can't play shortstop. I think there may be a situation where if you get into a shortstop-heavy organization like Boston or others where maybe you're asked to play third base. But I want to see him at least start at short because you and I both know if you're an outfielder, you want to start in center and then get shifted to left or right. And if you're an infielder, you want to start at short. And if they want to move you to second or third, they can do so. It just keeps your options available.
All right, Brett, we'll let you go for batting practice. Do you know how to throw the drop? Can you throw the drop, or is this just, heave it as fast as you can and hope you don't hit her?
Yeah, I hope that I get some natural drop when I'm trying to hit the strike zone and I miss by 2 feet. So as long as I don't get hurt with the L screen and I give her something to hit where she doesn't just roll her eyes or start yelling at me, it'll be a successful day.
Maybe put one of those little face masks the softball pitchers wear. That might come in handy.
I should. I need to get one of those. That would be fantastic for a visual.
Teeth are good. They're very good. Right where they continue to be in your mouth, keep them there. Brett, thanks a lot.
You got it.
It's Brett Dolan. He's with us each Thursday on Halftime. Would you like to be standing about 40 feet away from a young lady who can hit the ball like nobody's business, and you don't even know how to throw that pitch properly? You might just duck the moment you throw the pitch.
Go get Rafael Devers. I hear he likes to change positions.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Hey, have you had lunch yet? Are you craving something sweet and delicious? Get over to Andy's Frozen Custard. They've got the greatest frozen treats around. Look at the mint chip concrete. Pretty simple. Frozen custard blended with mint syrup and melted chocolate chips. Take you a day to get through it, too. It's Andy's Frozen Custard all around our listening audience. North Little Rock, Conway, Northwest Arkansas, and Fort Smith. They're always ready to serve you drive-through. The home stretch of halftime right after this break.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-551-3241. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-551-3241. That's 800-551-3241. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
Hey, Todd Richardson back here at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. We've had 3 qualifiers today, and guys that have competed before, congrats to Quinn, congrats to Tyler, and congrats to Brad. We have a chance to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, and go see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, we're doing it big this year. Vegas, baby. We got to do it big for the 20th annual. Can you believe that? 2 decades that we partnered here with Hardee's to give you what you want, a football trip of a lifetime. And I can honestly say that this is the best one we've ever done. There's been great ones before featuring Arkansas games, other games in the National Football League, but I mean, Vegas is Vegas, and you got a chance to win. Swing on by and see us. We're at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. You got till 1:30, so you better hurry if you want to qualify for a football trip of a lifetime.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Make hay while the sun shines with Kubota hay equipment from Gray Brothers. Like quality-built Kubota disc hay mowers, known for their durability and beautiful cut. Kubota hay rakes and, of course, the BB Series Kubota round baler. Couple it with Kubota's N-Series cab tractor with 75 to 168 horsepower, and you'll have the prettiest hay on the market. With savings from Gray Brothers and special financing from Kubota. Today is your day for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Now in the street there is violence, and a lot of work to be done. No place to hang out or washing, and then I can't blame all on the sun. Oh no, we're gonna rush down to Electric Avenue and take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rush down to Electric Avenue and then take it higher.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
One-hit wonders from the 80s. 80 Grant performing here. Electric Avenue. It's one of the great songs of the 80s. Give Me Hope, Joanna, War Party, Romancing the Stone. That must have been from the Romancing the Stone movie, but I don't remember that being a big old hit or anything else. 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Hotline. I forgot to put in a request for a Menudo song, Matt, but maybe the next time we do 80s, we can figure that one out. There's something I needed to ask you about, and I brought up closing out a segment about offense next year for Arkansas and the idea of continuity and how Taylen Green is really the only aspect of continuity offensively. Even if you're looking at Fernando Carmona, he's playing a different position, sliding from tackle to left guard. So with Taylen playing a second year in the Petrino offense, it feels like everybody's already looking to him, not to make sure that they're in the right place at the right time, but he's the one who knows it. And it's, if your quarterback is the one that knows the offense better than anybody else, it's a great place to start. It's just there's going to be some learning, a lot of learning for everybody else on the offense.
Well, just about every play will have a sister play or a brother play. And what I mean is whatever play's called in, there's going to be a check that you can go to a run. There's going to be a check you can go to a pass. There's going to be a way to slide the protection. So, yes, there's a lot of stuff you have to figure out and a lot to learn. That's what we were just talking about, the LSU quarterback being in the same offense, being in the same system, just everything just being easy recall. And so that's what you're hoping with Taylen Green. It's just you point people in the right direction and make it where you're just out there reacting and playing. And I think you'll see some of that this year.
Just to me also makes me think that things just feel potentially choppy early in practice and maybe early in the season, which also is a good thing that you're starting with an FCS team.
The other thing, Phil, that you brought up, and you've actually brought this up probably 2 or 3 times this week, all of our pass catchers what does Petrino say? What does Clay say Petrino says? Every route is a 3-person route or a 3-way route. You can outside release, you can slant, you can stop, whatever you want to say. It's a three-way route. These guys haven't done a lot of that. You're expecting them to be on time and to be right there. And I don't know if Taylen struggles with being comfortable with some of the other guys. I think you saw that as the season went on. He would kind of spread the ball a little bit more, and that's why when you get man coverage, who would be open? Andrew Armstrong. So you're hoping these guys can pick it up a little bit and make the picture clear, because as a quarterback, if I throw it to a receiver and he's not in the right spot, I throw it to a receiver and he drops a couple, you tend to go to somebody else. Like, it's just human nature. It's like I got to go to somewhere else where I know the guy's going to be where I can trust him.
And you think about Taylen's first year, and it wasn't continuity with the offense. It was just continuity on the team. You're a group of receivers that were there the year before with KJ. Broden
brought in a veteran running back.
That's right. Yeah, and it's totally different this year. I mean, I would love that it's the quarterback that's the one who knows the offense. If I had to pick one guy to be the one returner that really is there all over again. And look, I mean, Braylon Russell knows the offense too, but
and his thing too for when you change pass protection, Phil, a lot of times something you're doing is getting that running back matched up with a linebacker or a nickel guy. You don't want your running back to have to block a defensive end, somebody who's paid to rush the passer. So that's it. Not saying that you can't get away with it from time to time, but that's where, a guy like Fred Talley, certain guys that they're students of the game, and you hope Braylon is one of those guys.
877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Hotline. We'll go to Lane in Cave City. Hey, Lane, how you doing?
Hey, guys, I'm doing great. Hope y'all's doing okay.
Terrific, thank you.
Phil, I know you're a Pirates fan, but I feel like when you're in the NL Central, like the Cardinals and the Pirates are, you kind of keep up with everybody because we're all so closely located to each other. But the Cardinals. So from the Pirate Series, the Cup Series, and now in the middle of the series with the Nationals, we're like 2-8 over our last 3 series. We're sliding in pretty rough to the All-Star break. Is this just like one of those mid-season grinds, you think? Or, I mean, what? I don't guess I understand. Are we going to go all in for the playoffs, or are we just looking to, I don't know, give our younger players some experience? I can't figure out what we're after here.
You're right, because you're at that place where you got to make up your mind now. If you're going to make moves, you got a couple weeks to figure that out. And St. Louis is a game and a half out of the wild card. I mean, they don't really look like all that good of a team, but they're at a place where they could still be one of the last 6 teams. I mean, there's the Padres are a game back. Cardinals are a game and a half out, and the Reds are 3.5 out. Arizona's not far off. Miami's not far off. So, yeah, they better, if they're going to make a move, they're going to need to do it really quickly. I just think that the swoon for the moment is more who the Cardinals are now than when they had a little blip. What was that, a couple weeks ago? I think they had a real good stretch against Chicago. Did. Look, and the other thing about this too, Lane, and I was talking about this with a few people earlier today. I was looking at not the highlights, but I saw the ceremonial first pitch of the Cardinals game last night. And the woman, you go up to the top of the pitcher's mound to throw out the first pitch. Not only should you make sure you get the ball to the plate, but don't fall down when you throw the pitch like she did on the pitcher's mound. Just stay in front of the plate. Anyway, you notice there's nobody at the game. There's nobody at the game. It's a Wednesday night. I don't know what the attendance was yesterday, but it must have been 20,000 or so. And it doesn't make any sense to me for a fan base that is as passionate, not just about the franchise, but about the sport itself. And a team like Colorado. Look, that's the crazy thing, is the Colorado's not just outdrawing St. Louis. They're outdrawing the Tigers.
Yeah.
The Tigers have the best record in baseball. They should have some of the best attendance numbers, but they don't. It's really weird. But I think Tigers fans are happy with their team. Cardinals fans looking at things jaundiced. I think the way that you might be viewing it, Lane, because we still have them on hold here. If I can ask you a question, Lane.
Yes, sir.
There's a cardinal way about doing things, and there's a direct line from Rogers Hornsby, Joe Medwick to Stan Musial to Bob Gibson to Lou Brock to the stars of the 80s, Ozzie Smith and Pendleton and Whitey Herzog managing them, into Jim Edmonds and Langford and even McGuire, and then Pujols and Adam Wainwright and all those great players. There's a line of a cardinal way that goes back about a century now. Do you feel that there is a cardinal way now?
You don't feel it, because to me, I feel like we just stated, it's like our upper management can't figure out whether we're wanting to rebuild from our farm system. Because here's the deal: majority of our starters that's on the field, they come from our farm system. So I don't think they can figure out whether they want to stick with trying to develop players from our own farm system, or go out and make a splash deal and try to bring in some players to help us get back to our winning way. So I don't feel like we're doing it the Cardinal way, but then again, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. I know that's not a good answer.
Lane, I always pictured the Cardinal way was pitchers throwing strikes, making them put the ball in play, always having good fielders behind you, enough speed, enough power to manage a truly dangerous offense, and a starting rotation that can get you into the 6th and the 7th inning. And they've usually had, now this has been an issue for a few years now, a good closer. But it's fundamentals, first and foremost, and then maybe that's been lacking a little bit for St. Louis, because the Cardinal way doesn't feel like it's the same Cardinal way.
No, sir. But hey, thank y'all for taking my call.
Yeah.
And I hope y'all have a good rest of the day.
Thanks very much, Lane. I appreciate you. And Matt, that's kind of the same thing as like looking at Nebraska from the 90s and everything. You could draw a direct line from Bob Devaney to Dr. Tom, and then it slows down after that. But there was a distinct Nebraska way about doing things. While Paterno's the coach at Penn State, there was a distinct way that you expected Penn State to play. You feel the same way about Alabama
Michigan,
and Nick
FSU.
Saban,
Yeah.
Harbaugh and Michigan. And that changes a little bit with the coach sometimes. That's why there is no Nebraska way right now, just like I don't think there is a Cardinal way right now.
Well, you had that black shirt defense. That was the thing about Nebraska, and it was like you kind of feared them. They were tough. They wore that black shirt with pride.
So then, what is the Arkansas way of doing football in a year when the program's going well, when Frank had it going well, when Hatfield had it going well, when Holtz had things going well? Houston Nutt. What's the Arkansas way?
Can't have 31 fumbles in 12 games.
Yeah.
Can't turn. You can't. That's one thing Coach Nutt used to always preach. You can't lose the turnover battle. You're not whenever you're starting behind. Whenever you're a dog, whenever that teams are going to have whatever they want to say, more talent, however you want to put it. If you go out there and play, it's attention to detail. You do the little things right, and you don't turn the ball over.
Got to run the football well.
Know your assignment,
and you have to hang on to it. I mean, that's pretty.
I talk about that all the time. It's about we have to control possession more, keep our defense off the field. You can't get into a Mike D'Antoni run and shoot, going up and down the field with these teams in the SEC. You got to be able to run the football, watch that clock tick down. And this is one of the things when we used to play the Indianapolis Colts and Jacksonville versus Indy, and you had Peyton Manning. You don't want to give Peyton Manning 12 possessions. You want to give him 8, because if you give him 12 possessions, he's going to put up 40 points on you. Same thing with this Razorback team. We don't want to give the other team 12. Make sure they limit their possessions, then they don't have a chance to score.
I think also when it comes to the Arkansas way, it's how you put a roster together. And I think you're looking at the great Arkansas teams, the really good Arkansas teams. You had generational athletic talent from inside the state that wanted to play at Arkansas. It's a little issue, I think, at the moment. And the other aspect too is you got guys and you coached them up. You're still doing that now. Recruiting compared to the rest of the SEC, and recruiting compared to the rest of the nation, Arkansas is fine. Compared to the rest of the SEC, it's 11 or 12 or 13 or 14 out of 16. So it's a little bit, that's the same aspect of going back years, where, the idea, we brought it up earlier in the week, Moneyball. Maybe Arkansas has been a Moneyball program for a long time, and that hasn't changed with a revenue share, and it may not change with a revenue share either. Well, I hear somebody that knows about the Razorback way. Adam Daly played with Matt under Houston Nutt. 46 Steakhouse is his restaurant, along with his wife, Brooke. And if you're hungry for a meal that's more than just food, 46 Steakhouse in Alma serves up tradition with every bite. Hand-cut steaks, including a massive 46-ounce ribeye, juicy chicken, and hand-breaded catfish. Every meal also comes with famous hot-made rolls and honey butter that folks just can't stop talking about. That's 46 Steakhouse and 108 Highway 71 right next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse is where every meal is masterpiece. We're back to wrap up halftime after this break.
They were so convincing in their argument, they swung me.
This is halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Do you need closure? on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Taco Bell's new crispy chicken tacos and burritos are so delicious.
Wait, Taco Bell's a chicken place now?
Nope, they're a taco place.
So this crispy chicken taco's from another chicken place.
No, it's from Taco Bell.
But this chicken is all white meat with avocado ranch. Gotta be from a chicken place.
It's coated in crispy tortilla chips. That's Taco Place.
I don't know. It seems like Taco Bell's just a chicken place now.
Well, the crispy chicken also comes in burritos.
What is even real?
Try the new crispy chicken tacos and burritos from Taco Bell. Your taco place that's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Now with their new location in Van Buren on 3918 Pointer Trail East. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or refusing to start, Sharp's got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look to Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Sharp Equipment has what you need. Come see Sharp at their new location in Van Buren across from Mid-South Steam Boiler, or call 479-649-0500 to see how Sharp Equipment will help you move more than just the world, but will help you move forward.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
I got change in my pocket, going jiggle-lang. I want to call you on the telephone, baby. I give you a ring, but each time we talk, I get the same old thing. Always no hooky, love this until I get a wedding ring. My honey, my baby, don't put my love on no shelf. She said, don't give me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. Baby, why you want to sleep this way? You know I'm still your lover boy. I still feel the same way. That's an old man's story about free milk and pie. Said no hooky, hooky's eating. I get a wet bow. My honey, my baby, don't put my love on no shelf. She said don't give me no lines and keep your hands to yourself.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, what's been our playlist today? One-hit wonders out of the 80s. Do you have them all written down?
Yeah.
What did we have today?
Yeah, Corey Hart. We had Men Without Hats. We had Eddie Grant, Musical Youth, The Vapors, Key Largo, one of your favorite. But two of my favorites, Bruce Willis. I didn't know he had auto-tune pipes like that, man.
And Rodney Dangerfield.
Rapping Rodney. I mean, we might need to make that a staple. Maybe we can get Rapping Cecil going on, NBA Cecil, because he had a good version yesterday, man. He's got some pipes, too.
Can you play it for the listeners, C-Movie, CBS, when our buddy Cecil did a sang the theme for us
Next
yesterday.
time he calls in, maybe we'll have a little one.
I think ESPN needs this instead of whatever it is they're going to play for NBA next year.
You see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS.
That's outstanding.
Let's go, Cecil.
I think Cecil could have had an 80s hit himself.
I like it.
He certainly was around in the 80s. Why did we not play? Well, I tell you why. Why did we not play Eddie Murphy? Because he had 2 hits.
Oh, he was on the list, and I thought it was kind of funny when I was reading the list that there was 101 hit wonders. He was on there twice. I was like, how are you lying to me on the list? Let's just start this off with a lie.
So Mike Neighbors, now assistant coach at the LA Sparks, Mike has some of the best lists ever out there. And you think he'd do a list of one-hit wonders? No, he's got the list of the bands that you thought were a one-hit wonder, but still had a second hit that not a lot of people remember really well. And there was one by Men with Hats. I can't remember the name of the song, but there was one by Men with Hats. I'm pretty sure Rodney Dangerfield did not have a second hit.
I don't even know if that was a first hit, honestly.
It should have been.
Yeah, he got base on balls, I think.
Yeah, well, he got some respect from that and from that alone.
Kudos to Phil, man. Phil got me a really cool "Where's the Dude?" Great movie spot challenge unit. Look how cool that is, man.
Where's Waldo in famous movie scenes. Like you're looking for the dude from Big Lebowski on the decks of the Titanic as it's about to sink.
A bowling ball with 3 holes. He's also I don't see Sam Elliott's mustache yet, but he is drinking a Caucasian. So let's go get it.
It's in there. What are you open it up to? What are the movies that are featured in this? Figure out where you find the dude in scenes of.
I did pretty good, but you got Titanic, Apocalypse Now, Rocky, Jaws.
I love the smell of White Russians in the morning.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I know C Movie's seen that one. The Wizard of Oz.
Cut me, Jesus.
Yeah, I love it. Fun show today.
It's halftime for a Thursday. Eastside Liquor halftime podcast coming out shortly. Anywhere you download your podcasts. And Ruskin and Zach are standing by for 4 hours of comedy gold. And we're back with you for another edition of Halftime tomorrow. For C Unit, for Matt Jones, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here.